Wind River engineered the Contrast 8 Therapy Spa. It's the only tub that combines the therapeutic heat of a Wind River spa with the refreshing feel of a cold plunge. Build and price yours at windriverspas.com.
Haunted by past carpet cleanings with ghostly residue of soap and chemicals left behind? Who you gonna call? I say the Residue Busters at ZeroResDenver.com. The only carpet cleaners I'll have in my home because soaps and harsh chemicals, well, scare me. So don't be tricked. Get the real treat, Zero Res. Using only the best cleaner in nature. Softened, purified water. Safe for kids, safe for pets, safe for you. And nothing spooky left behind. I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino, recommending the one and only ZeroResDenver.com. 3 rooms starting at just $119 and $75 off duct cleaning. 303-471-5150. 303-471-5150. ZeroResDenver.com. And don't be scared. Auto accident? Get the right lawyer on your side. Search for Attorney John Fuller.
Denver's talk station has your chance to win $1,000.
Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website.
Bank. That's bank.
Enter it now
At KHOW.com.
Inflation Salvation
On 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. For those streaming the show, you'll see I have a studio full here. I got Bob Logan from Plum Line Services. Deputy D's over on the side. Who's in the studio, Kachina?
Doc and Bo.
Deputy Doc.
Deputy Doc and Deputy Bo.
Deputy Bo.
I ought to mention them. It's not like I don't want you guys here. You're welcome to come here, by the way. When we don't have a crowded room, we got plenty of chairs, and this is the place where it's not the nerve center like you guys are with. I would say Kelly's the nerve center. I mean, and then you guys, and then me. So welcome to the show.
You don't have to look at you for 4 hours.
That's
Tom.
true. That's true. Remember during COVID, Doc, you came over here almost every day.
All the time.
Oh man, it was. God, that's how all this started with the remote broadcast people. We started in the dining room and then formalized it, and then when the main part was over, a lot of people didn't want to go back to normalcy. 303-713-TALK is our number. And, of course, we have the number 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. And that number works literally 24/7, every day. You call right now, it works. It comes right to the show. So you can simply call that number. It's on the screen right there if you're watching. And if you're not, don't worry about it. You can always go back when you're listening on radio and then go back to your favorite calls. And we're also starting a new feature soon that will use Zoom. I experimented after the show on Friday with a private live session, and I didn't have the volume up on the Zoom, but I did realize I can take live Zoom calls, so people will be able to show me trouble. So if they say, look at my car, this is what happened after I had it detailed, or look at this job here that the plumber did or an electrician did or whatever. 303-713-TALK, as I said, 303-713-8255. There's a lot in the news today, and Bob Logan is with us, and it's what we call the shoulder season, Bob. Okay, explain the shoulder season for me, sir.
The shoulder season is simply the time in between the heating season and the cooling system season. So, June, July, even August is our cooling season with air conditioning, and then we go into the shoulder season, and then once it gets cold, the snow starts falling, we enter the heating season, and then of course you have the same thing in the spring, maybe April and May.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It absolutely, positively happens every single time that it slows down now and people could get everything done now, probably at better prices. And as soon as the cold hits, what happens?
Our phones explode, and then you're put on the waiting list, and that's every company in the state will be the same.
But it's not just for that; it's for everything.
It's for everything.
For cars,
people don't tend to be proactive. They wait for things to break, and you're absolutely right. If you called today with anything you think you might need, you're going to get a faster response. You're going to get better prices. Once the cold comes.
Yeah, it's going to always be better.
Right.
Now, another thing I want to mention. Everyone's talking about, we can't ignore, everyone's talking about the election, okay? The election. Okay.
When is that? Is that coming up?
Yeah, it is actually. I just got my absentee ballot, and people were having a discussion whether they should use the post office or drop-off points. And I think that's worth a discussion. And I believe, and the reason I'm mentioning this is it truly is a discussion that we have to have. And let me just turn down, I think I have the volume. Yeah, I got to turn down okay, there it goes. I had my YouTube sound up. Anyway, it's really important to discuss this. When it comes to dropping off or mail, I believe they're both secure, but there are really strong schools of thought on the mail being delayed or being intercepted and all the conspiracy crap and all of that. I don't know which one is better, but I do know you can't wait when it comes to the mail because the mail will take longer than if you go to a drop-off point. But do you know that we are moving into a time when the majority of people, will be voting by mail? Do you vote?
Surprise me.
Do you vote by mail?
I do, yes.
Now, according to, and by the way, you can text me as well. Let me give that number out because that's really important. You can text me at the short code. I call it the short code. That's what it is. It's the iHeart short code. And that is 57739, 57739. And then you can also go and text me on my private Google phone, 747-999. 5280, and I do have some of those already. Now, one of these texts today is regarding a call we had on the Yacht Club. Are you taking that, D? Were you handling that?
You assigned it to me, and there have been no developments because the vice president of that HOA still hasn't forwarded any documentation to me.
Okay. Let me explain what it was. The Yacht Club HOA, they had a big hailstorm with a lot of damages, and they sued their insurance company. Why, I don't know. Why they sued their insurance, I don't know.
I read their complaint.
What was it?
The insurance company offered them just a tiny portion of what the Yacht Club thought that it was going to take to repair their property. And later, after many, many filings, this was in federal court, and after many, many filings, that suit was settled, but the terms of the settlement weren't available to me in Pacer. I believe that they were just never filed.
But no one is disputing on either side that $8.4 million was awarded.
Well, there is no evidence of that other than an allegation by the lady who initially called us a couple weeks ago.
Even the guy on the board said that. He said there was $8.4 million.
He doesn't know. He hasn't been able to find out what the amount of that settlement was.
Where did the $8.4 million come up? You didn't find that in Pacer?
I did. So he told me, so the HOA VP told me that he found evidence of either 3 or 4 ACH transfers to Blue Spruce. And
that totaled,
he said either $6 or $8 million. I heard both numbers.
So
here's a lot of money.
Here's what's going around the Yacht Club and why people called me, and several people texted me. This is like more than just one person who I know we thought was kind of a nut, the woman. But here's the bottom line. It appears that $8.4 million was awarded to the HOA, and they spent it with some rinky-dink little contractor. And there's some accusations that contractor rewarded the guy who was in charge on the board.
That's the allegation.
That's the bottom line.
That's the allegation.
Now, do we know that to be true? No, we don't. But I will tell you that there are a lot of people looking at this right now, and we're trying to make some headway. And we had an attorney on for them.
Yes, their attorney.
Yeah. And she was very credible. And what she said was, She advises them. She doesn't have firsthand knowledge of the financing.
Correct.
But she advises them, and from what she can see, there was no ill-gotten gain. And that's what she said. From her perspective,
she made that statement, but she never said that she examined their financial records.
She admitted she doesn't know what happened after payments are made, and she said that the homeowners are entitled to the financial details, yet they haven't gotten them, and they've requested them as she has said to. But by the way, I want to make this clear. I like the attorney. I don't think she was lying. I don't think she was covering anything up. The attorney seemed very straightforward to me, and I don't think she would, ruin her entire life and career over this. But anyway, this yacht club is in Westminster, 161 units. The hailstorm was in 2017. The allegation is that after winning 8.4, one of the HOA board members, who's no longer there and actually moved away and supposedly bought a big giant mansion house.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Supposedly, he got rewarded from this Blue Spruce Roofing and Exteriors, DBA Global Roofing. Now, everyone admits the work has been done. The roof, the gutter, the walls, the siding. But it supposedly was done poorly. Mm-hmm. And what we wanted is to get an inspector out there and start putting some teeth in this, because other than that, it turns out to be just a bunch of rumors maybe. But anyway, the attorney, Molly Foley Healy, for the HOA, says that all they have to do is put in a request referencing H Bill 12-1237, and they're entitled, and this is for anyone who is a member of an HOA, and you are entitled under Section 317 of that law, and if you didn't get all this, just go back to the recording on YouTube and go about 17 minutes into the show. You are entitled to a detailed accounting. So, you've talked to a lot of parties. What is your gut feeling, D? What is your gut feeling on this? Because I always ask Bo and Doc and all of those, their gut feelings when they talk to people. What's your gut feeling?
Well, in my experience, where there's smoke, there may be fire. And in this case, there's been some smoke. And I'm not prepared to believe either side until I see some paperwork from the HOA VP who's been trying to get these financial records. So he and I discussed this after their lawyer called in, and I advised him to, and he agreed to start that request process all over.
Good, do it, and I would copy that attorney.
Oh, yes, we discussed that he's going to submit that to both the management company and that particular attorney at the same time.
Because I think she will coax them to do the right thing.
I hope so. I think so.
By the way, waterpros.net is doing a whole house system for softening, and a triple filter reverse osmosis system for drinking water, both combined. Holiday special, $31.95. That's an incredible deal, folks. 303-862-5554. And that's waterpros.net. We got more coming up.
Hi, I'm Terrell Davis, two-time world champion and Pro Football Hall of Famer. There is nothing more important than your health. Shop Colorado's largest selection of quality fitness equipment. With Fitness Gallery, you can find the right equipment to work out on your schedule right from home. I have a true treadmill. It's the smoothest and quietest I've ever been on.
We have the nation's lowest prices on the best equipment you can buy. You can save up to 50% off.
You never regret buying quality. Visit Fitness Gallery to find the right equipment and get moving today.
All right. I want to talk about a movie event coming up in October, the 24th, 10 days, in Parker. It's the 20 Mile Theater. It's AMC on 20 Mile Road. And it's sponsored by Joseph Cano, Certified Financial Planner. And he wants to tell you about retirement through this movie. It's really an entertaining way to do it. It's a docudrama with many actors and true stories too. I mean, dramatizations, but true stories. and some victims of the retirement meltdown. Joe, explain more about this.
That is right. People today are very, very concerned, Tom, about retirement. They're thinking, is my money going to last as long as I will? Or they may be thinking, do I have enough money to really retire? Because, see, right now the economy, inflation, the stock market is really volatile. And the movie brings out a new way to plan for retirement. Even for people that are already retired, it doesn't matter. They can actually transfer their 401ks, their IRAs, their brokerage account into a safe, guaranteed pension account that we have, that the movies actually, the movie talks about it. And they can build a safe, peace of mind retirement. And this is really what people want. They want to have a guaranteed income for life. They want to have a bonus to get started to make up for any losses that they could have had in the past with the stock market. Think about that, 15% bonus just to transfer your money.
And
so
and go ahead.
If you had $100,000 to transfer, let's say, 15% is $15,000, Tom.
Right.
That could make up for a lot of losses.
And that becomes your money, and it actually starts earning money from day one. And again, this is an event. It won't be a sales job, but you can ask your questions about this. You're going to learn a lot. MyMoneyMyWay.com. Go there to get some tickets. You have to have a ticket. 303-779-6600. 779-6600. Hey, Excel Roofing is still doing roofing repairs and roofing replacements and responding to all of the hail damage we had this past year or even last year. But here is the deal. You don't have to sign anything with Excel to get them to look at your roof, to get them to give you a full and complete estimate and a detailed contract. One of the only roofers that does that. Most roofers require you to sign something just to get them to look at your roof, and that's a contract with penalty clauses. Excel won't do it. Then once they give you a contract, if you want to sign it with Excel, you don't pay a dime, not a cent, until you're content. No other roofer does that. Not a dime. ExcelRoofing.com. Plus, there are no cancellation fees. They want to earn your business every day. Excel, as in excellent, EXCEL, ExcelRoofing.com. 303-761-6400. All right. It's amazing how many accusations of wrongdoing come out of insurance. I mean, I can't tell you how many people believe that people get kickbacks. That's a favorite word, kickbacks. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I don't think it happens as much as people think. What do you think? I mean,
I know they're certainly offered a lot.
You think?
There are a lot of kickback offers out there in the market.
Now, why do you think that?
I believe that. Well, it's kind of like restoration companies.
Okay.
They're hanging around all of our locations all the time telling plumbers, hey, you refer me over here, I'll give you $500. Or, I mean, and it's really no different because those are all insurance claims for the most part. I mean, they even come to me and say, hey, if you use our company, we'll take this percentage, we'll put it into a slush fund for you, or you can use it to throw parties or whatever you want to do it. And this isn't just a couple of restoration companies. This is like every restoration company out there.
That's amazing. Not surprising.
Towing businesses.
Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. A happy Monday to you. We are kicking off the week with a lot of follow-ups and discussions about the coming winter and your HVAC system and anything else near and dear to your heart and pocketbook. Someone says here, because we gave that update on the Yacht Club, and here's the text that originally sparked that conversation. Their attorney who was on the air, it's easy for her to claim plausible deniability about any impropriety because the invoices she claims were submitted and paid could be easily doctored. Okay, she wouldn't know that. Right? She's just looking at what happened. She doesn't know what happened after the payment was made to the contractor. Okay, that contractor could have written checks back. Who knows? No one will know unless you go get a court order and then, hope that they're honest in discovery. Anyway, without an audit and a professional that has experience with this type of construction and what it costs, and could go on site to verify whether they were built correctly and actually completed, everything could easily look legitimate. Doesn't mean it is. Okay. I'm listening to the show about buying a new car, and you're paying 8% sales tax plus 5% vehicle ownership tax. Getting a rebuild seems like it could make a lot of sense in a lot of cases. Can you go through that again? We had a very unusual discussion on Car Day on Friday. And here's why it's unusual. And by the way, you come across this, I know you do, with furnaces and stuff. I know you do. But I used to say, look, before you spend so much money on an old car, consider taking, especially if you're going to put cash down, some people finance it, but if you have enough cash to put down on a big repair, like an engine, a transmission, a transfer case, body work, consider doing a new car. Put money down on a new car that has like these new 10-year, 100,000-mile warranties, and you'll be money ahead. And I gave a scenario where you can buy a car and have a small down payment when financing was more realistic. Now it's a little higher. But one woman called the show about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and it might have been long. But anyway, she had a daughter wanted to buy a clunker. She wanted to buy a clunker cash for $4,000 or $5,000. To get one of that price, you have to have 100,000 or more, maybe 150,000 miles. And I said, no matter what, you're going to have this come up, and this come up. No matter what, you will eventually have a transmission, you'll have a clutch, you'll have something. And we went over it with our experts. And I said, that will cost you, even though it doesn't cost you today. When you put that $4,000 or $5,000 down, it will cost you. So parents, listen to this. You put $4,000 or $5,000 down. If you have literally $4,000 or $5,000 in the next 3 to 5 years, you could have that much money. Okay. Now you're looking at 10. Okay. You could look at more, but even at 10 or 15 or 12, if you amortize that, you're paying sometimes more than you would for a used car. If you think about what you won't have to do to a new car, right? I mean, more than a new car, I meant. So here's what I mean. So if you put a big chunk down on a new car, your payments could be low, or at the time they could have been pretty low. And that money you pay per month is for a new car. It's under warranty for 100,000 miles or 10 years. I mean, it's an amazing warranty. So you will be money ahead, because once you buy that used car and you put all that money into it, it's still a used car. Right? Most of the time, you have to buy a car that has too many miles. Now, that's for buying a used car. I still stick by that, for buying a used car. But what if you have a car that you've kept and it's worn out? That's a whole different story. If you have a car that you bought that is wearing out, and you've kept this car the way you should, meaning the interior's good, the body's good. You're not talking about frame damage, none of that. No big hail damage. You're talking about just a car wearing out. Would it be worth keeping this car and putting in an engine eventually, a rebuilt, like a remanufactured, not a used engine, but another engine eventually, and then a transmission eventually, and even a transfer case. Now, some cars don't have the transfers, but separate. But let's just say they do. You could be looking at a total investment of 15 grand into this car. Now you're thinking, wait a minute, this is a used car, and I put 125. I'm talking about not a car, not going out and buying one, but you've had this car, and now in the next 3 to 5 years, maybe 6 years, you could be looking at an investment of 15 grand. Is it worth it? Well, we came up with a kind of an informal formula. If the total investment in that car is 50% or less of a new car, you should do it. Let me explain that. What does total investment in the car mean? What does it mean? If you have to put 15 grand in the next 3 to 6 years, that's 15 grand you'll have invested, but there's something else. The residual value of the used car. So if you can sell that used car now and not do those repairs, and you get 5 or 6 grand, and then you put another 15 in, your total investment in that car is really net 21, 22 grand. Now, let's say it's $22,000 in the next 3 to 6 years. So if you have a $22,000 investment here, but you've kept this car and you know the car and it's not ratted out, and that car, I'm not talking about body, frame, or paint, never works. I'm talking about mechanical. So now you've kept this car, and in the 6th year you have 22 invested in it. What do you think a similar car like that would sell for? If it's $45,000 or more, you're money ahead. You're money ahead because that car, for all intents and purposes, has been zero timed. It has become almost like a new car. And you can probably keep it for an extended period of time like a new car. But if you can buy that car for $32,000 and you're putting 22 into it, it's probably not worth it. But it depends on your circumstances. So I think that it all comes down to something that never lies to us. Math. Math never lies. Never. Now, math can be manipulated and all of that, but truly, put the numbers to it. Another thing has to do with your credit worthiness and whether you can even get a car or a loan. But while we're on the topic, when it comes to getting a car to begin with for your teens, remember, your first mistake is paying too much for that car. The second mistake is not keeping it for the whole term of the loan. If you pay too much for it, you can at least keep it for the entire term of the loan and not suffer a negative loss, a negative. But if you don't keep it for the term of the loan and you're upside down in the car, now you have a negative ball, a negative piece of property that you have to put into your next car. That makes the next car less of a value, and you're going to have to put that ball in the next car, and that ball gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and your kid is on his way or her way to financial ruin. So the best thing to do is not get that ball going. So pay the right price. That's easy to say, but you can if you call us and go to good dealers. If you pay too much, you can still get by paying it off. Don't get rid of it because you paid too much. And of course, you got to have the right car to begin with. Don't do a stupid car with over 100,000 miles. Don't buy a used car with over 100,000. Just don't do it. And 150, it's stupid. It's just stupid. You will have major repairs. You will absolutely, positively have major repairs. So don't do it. I'm Tom Martino. If you have any questions on this, you can call or text me 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Bob, I want to talk about when it comes to efficiency. I know you're in the business, but I want to talk some honest to God figures on new systems versus fixing one. Because a lot of people say, look, don't get this. It's not worth putting $1,200 into this furnace or $1,000 or $2,000. I don't know. I don't know what repairs are. I don't know what the math is. But I think the way we did with cars, we should come up with some kind of an idea of whether people should replace or whether people should simply fix. I'm Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, by the way, will do a free market valuation of your home for the asking, and it's really comprehensive. It's not just a drive-by. He's going to let you know what your house will sell for, what you'll net, and what you can buy. It's a service he does. You don't have to list at all. He just wants to know the market, and he wants you to know what you're facing, and he takes into account all of the elements. That's Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
Yep.
Thanks.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors.
So
TrajanWealth.com. Now, impact traffic.
When to
this
replace
report
and
is
when to
sponsored
fix.
by Red
It's
Pill
one of
America.
the primary.
Drive around town looking pretty good out here.
Yeah,
Just
and
cleared
you're
out
right.
a stall. We
do
had
the
westbound
same thing with
I-70
furnace
at
and air conditioning
270, all
systems.
lanes open,
Absolutely.
but it did back up that drive from about 225. We're looking at a heavy and slow ride through there. Southbound I-25 is cleared out after getting that wreck at Lincoln Avenue cleared out of your way. Traffic looking good headed south of the Tech Center. Out in the Golden area, they've had a power
But
outage
sometimes I think
that's really
it's
impacted several
absolutely
traffic
foolish
lights. The
not to
most
fix.
significant being
Sometimes it's
6th
just the
and
opposite.
Colfax. They're
Replace the
completely
damn
out
thing.
through
It's
there, so
20 years
please be
old, or
careful
15 or
through that
whatever.
intersection.
And then
Denver weather
the
today,
new
partly cloudy
efficiencies
skies
compared
and the
to
high
the
up to 81.
And I want
right
to
now
talk
we're
about if
59
standards are
degrees.
changing
With your
this
impact
coming year
traffic and
again.
weather,
Do they
I'm Aaron
change?
O'Neill,
At the end of the year,
630 K-House.
sometimes
This week on Red Pilled America,
efficiencies
we
go
tell
up.
the story of how The Apprentice made Trump a national hero and detail the first time Kamala Harris took her boss's job, and it wasn't Joe. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pilled America.
Joe Lazzara is a criminal defense attorney. Let me tell you something. It's a good thing I'm talking about him now before the holidays, because you can prevent a lot of problems by simply not drinking and driving. Don't try to calculate what you're drinking, and if you can drive, just don't do it. Get a designated driver. Look, here's the deal. You may not intend to be a drunk and drive, but the legal limit is way different than what you might think it is. Now, having said all of that, if you're in trouble, don't ever try to represent yourself. Joe Lazzara will do free legal counsel up front, like legal advice. Okay, that's your initial consultation. If you decide to hire him, then he works on a percentage fee basis. He works on a flat fee basis. I was thinking about personal injury. He works on a flat fee basis, so you know exactly what it will cost. Let me give you his number. Always call if you're in trouble. I've done the shopping for you. Don't shop under pressure. 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. When it comes to solar, there is one company that I recommend right now, Red Rocks Roof and Solar. Why? Because they're comprehensive. They don't just do the sales. They do the installation and the service. They can help you with all of the deductions and the tax credits, and whether it's a commercial system or residential system, they have a guaranteed activation date. Now listen, here's the big deal. For businesses, they can talk to you about the REAP grant, which can get you the system paid for 100%. 303-704-2449, 704-2449, redrocksrs.com.
Thank you.
Sorry, it went over.
Wasn't watching.
Shut up. I'll tell you, man, this picture's looking really good now that I've adjusted the lighting. This YouTube. The YouTube social. Look at the way, you see? It used to be so grainy. It's really good right now. I'm just proud of it. The product, at least. Hey, guys.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, who are you talking to?
My morons.
Oh, yeah.
My
I figured
YouTube
you-
morons. And my studio morons.
Kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Hey,
Arr.
Bo, you got any follow-ups?
Just working on champion windows and no developments yet. I was going to ask Dimitri, are you there?
I'm here.
We love the D.
D, would it be beneficial if I called Westminster to see if that roofing company took a permit, Blue Spruce Roofing, on that $8 million condo job?
I don't think we even care about that yet.
Okay.
What's that?
We need to see. Bo was asking if we should look up to see if they took out a roofing permit.
Yeah,
And
that's
my position is let's wait for them to provide some evidence of impropriety. is we have a lady who's a little crazy who called in, and then the VP of the board, he's just beginning to dig into it.
Because I thought a permit would reveal the job value. Because then they say they paid him $8 million.
Yeah, either 6 or 8 million, depending on what day you talk to the VP. But
on what day?
But it wasn't just roof; it was siding and roofing and windows. I mean, it was I read the court filing, their initial complaint against the insurance company, and there was a tons and tons of damage. So there should have been many, many permits.
I think there was a kickback, like Tom said. There's some.
That's what I suspect too.
You think there was?
Yeah, I'd like to get the former president's name so that I can see if I find any connection between him and the owner of Global.
Former president.
I didn't say future president. And I want to see if there's any connection that I can find between the owner of Global Roofing, Global Roofing, and the former president of the HOA, who, by the way, is now supposedly suing that HOA for some kind of a personal injury he sustained on their property. It's just a bizarre place.
Well, D, I'm only working 2 cases, so let me know if I can help you on it. This sounds like a good one.
Yeah, I absolutely, I'll totally keep you in the loop on it as soon as I hear anything.
And you're doing a good job on Carol. That's great. You got the Attorney General involved in that. That is really.
Hey,
really
by the way, Bo, were you able to get access to the call screener?
I think so. The reason I kept trying it because I was using my AOL account, so I didn't mean to bother you.
Yeah, I don't want to give outside accounts access. I only want to do the troubleshooter.com emails.
Okay, so I'm learning how to do the Troubleshooter. Hopefully I'll be able
Wait, you've never used the Troubleshooter account?
I've only used it once Saturday. I just got set up.
No, as far as getting email when you do cases.
Nope, I never have, Tom.
Oh, do you know how to log in?
My kids are teaching me. They taught
Did you
me how
when you logged in? Wait, if you never logged in, then you never set your new password or anything, right?
I logged in after I got your email.
Oh, good. Okay.
I did find the screener, so I was.
Okay, good.
630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. By the way, Compass Insurance Group will do free insurance checkups to make sure you're not overinsured, underinsured, or that you're not paying too much. Or you might have a great deal and they'll tell you. 303-996-9000, theinsurancehelpcenter.com. Pauline, welcome to the show. I'm Tom Martino. People can call 303-MARTINO at any time, 303-627-8466. We love helping. What's going on?
Okay. Am I on the radio?
Yes, you are, Pauline, but we're not going to use your last name. I'll just put out your address and phone number right after the call. I'm just kidding, by the way. Jeez, okay. I'm just kidding. We don't give out any personal information. What's going on?
So my daughter and I bought a used car from a dealership, and it's a small dealership. He had told us.
What did you buy? Let's talk about the car. You bought I'm seeing, a 2014 Nissan Juke?
Yes.
I like those.
Yeah, it's very cute for my daughter. And they had told us at the time that the turbo had been replaced and that it was leaking a little bit of oil or water, that was smoking a little bit, but that should go away in like 3 days.
I'm going to ask you something that I ask everyone. Did you have it checked out before you bought it?
We did not.
Okay. Can you say the name of the dealer, or would you rather not right now?
I would rather not.
Okay, keep going then. What happened then?
So my daughter, we didn't have any issues with it smoking, driving it home.
Now, he said it was because they had replaced something?
He said they replaced the turbo and that there was a little bit of, he either said oil
No,
or
I get it. I get it. Okay, so keep going. He replaced the turbo. Did you have him put that down in writing that the turbo has been replaced?
Yes, we have the paperwork for that.
Really? Okay, good. Keep going.
So she's been driving it for like a month and a half, and it will smoke off and on. usually when it gets a little bit higher RPMs. And she was getting worried about it, so we contacted him at the dealer, and he said that he would have someone come out and look at it. Someone came to our house and checked out the car and said that he did think it was the turbo. So then they set up an appointment to get in with the mechanic that originally put this in, but it was like several weeks later.
Was there any warranty on it?
Supposedly there is, just not on the labor. And
now, how do you know supposedly? Was it on that paperwork you got from the dealer?
I'm not sure because I don't have the paperwork with me, but the dealer told us that it had a warranty.
And did this guy that checked it out say that it was a bad turbo?
Not to my knowledge, but we never...
Well, you just told me he said it was the turbo, and you wanted to go back to the guy that installed it.
Well, we're not sure that the guy that came out and inspected it is the same guy that...
No, I know. But the guy that came out and inspected it, what did he say was causing the smoking? Did he say the turbo?
He said there was something... He said that there was something wrong with the turbo.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And so she started to get worried. She took it into the Nissan dealership and had them take a look at it.
Yeah, and this is usually what happens. People get it checked out after they buy it and after there's a problem. What did the dealer say?
The dealer said that it was installed incorrectly. It was leaking oil under the engine. The gas, it was, it ruined the gaskets. They needed to be replaced, and that basically it was undrivable.
Okay, what did they say it would take to fix?
They quoted us about $4,000 because they said that we needed to replace the turbo and the gaskets.
Okay. Because it was done improperly. Okay. Now, did you have that verified? Because I wouldn't necessarily believe the dealer either.
So who would we verify that with?
Okay, hold on. I'm going to come back to you and give you some. You didn't have anything done yet, is that right? Is that right? Okay, I'll tell you what. Just wait.
Correct.
I'll come back and I'll give you some solid information that you need to do, and then we'll see what we can do. 303-713-8255.
Okie dokie.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
Drive around town looking pretty good out here. Just cleared out a stall. We had westbound I-70 at 270, all lanes open, but it did back up that drive from about 225. We're looking at a heavy and slow ride through there. Southbound I-25 is cleared out after getting that wreck at Lincoln Avenue cleared out of your way. Traffic looking good headed south of the tech center. Out in the Golden area, they've had a power outage that's really impacted several traffic lights, the most significant being 6th and Colfax. They're completely out through there, so please be careful through that intersection. Denver weather today, partly cloudy skies and the high up to 81. Right now we're at 59 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Aaron O'Neill, 630 KHOW.
This week on Red Pilled America, we tell the story of how The Apprentice made Trump a national hero and detail the first time Kamala Harris took her boss's job, and it wasn't Joe. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pilled America.
You know, we were just talking about a used car that wasn't checked out before they bought it, and we hear this all the time. And one of the people I want to refer you to, SheridanAutotech.com. Kevin and his team will do pre-buy inspections for just $120. They go through every single system of a used car. They would have found something like this wrong. So I urge you, SheridanAutotech.com. Of course, they do all repairs and maintenance for regular cars, not just the ones you're buying. And they do electrical issues as well. On Colfax, west of Wadsworth, well worth the drive, 303-455-7242, 455-7242. Something else people never do, they never get their paperwork checked out in a real estate deal. That's right. They just rely on their real estate person. That's okay, but not foolproof. You need an attorney. Listen, if you're buying a piece of property, especially commercial, you need an attorney. OLS Law, O'Brien Legal Services specializes in that. And also for landlords, especially big landlords, you're facing squatters now or changes in the eviction laws. Call O'Brien Legal Services for counsel. He does everything real estate. OLSlaw.com, 720-370-7388.
Fabulous.
Thanks. Let me go to the wide shot. And okay, morons, how you doing all?
Did you talk to a human being? Or
By the way, how are all the morons doing?
Now he can hear you. Do you mind?
Oh, hey Tom.
Yeah.
Do you want me to get Kevin on?
About this car?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt.
Yay.
Kelly, did she say when she bought the car?
Yeah, 2 months ago, I think. She said, or 2 months later is when the turbo problem.
Hi. Okay. We have a 2014 used, something called the Nissan Juke. And it's got some issues. So Tom wanted to bring you on. Okay? Okay. Never heard of the car?
That doesn't change anything.
I got juked buying a juke.
Come on. I don't know a lot, Shannon.
What does repeatedly pointing that out do for you?
Not a lot.
Then why do it? Okay.
Kind of like you and eating.
I like
You
eating.
just do it.
Shut up. Do you like the Men for Harris commercial? Have you seen it?
Oh, God.
Men for hairless balls. I mean, Harris
That
balls. Walls.
Absolutely cringe.
Yeah.
The worst.
I sit to pee. She's for me. Kamala Harris.
Shannon, are you doing your table water crackers and jelly?
What, me?
Yeah.
My, the Brie.
Oh, of course.
Brie and water crackers.
Oh.
I did that earlier.
Brie.
This is just a bag of scoops.
Stoops.
Shut this first hour to hell.
Wait, what were the ones that made you sick? It was like
Repair, replace, and then also refrigerants. What else?
the Lay's ones. What were the?
Do you have any specials?
I don't remember. What's going on?
Got our
Give us a replacement special.
yeah, our shoulder by the
Oh,
air
stacks.
conditioner, get the fence free.
Yes.
And they, I find in side by side they are better than
I'm going to say buy an HVAC system, replace your HVAC system, pay only for the air conditioner.
But it
I
didn't
love
make
that.
me sick. It just squirted through me like Play-Doh.
Do you have a
factory.
recorded one on that going right now? If you don't, we should put one.
Went out the way it came in.
Oh, we
Here we
on
go.
that particular
Yeah, buy
one?
for fun.
Should.
Okay.
630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. By the way, Plumline just told me, during this season, if you do need, and we'll come back and talk about the changes in the laws and all the efficiencies, and then whether you should repair or replace. But if you do replace HVAC system right now with Plumline, they're doing you replace that system, you pay only for the AC, and the furnace is free. And it's, by the way, that's a real deal, and we'll talk about that. That's plumlineservices.com. Now, Pauline has an issue with her Nissan Juke, and somebody mentioned to me on YouTube, one of my morons, having a car checked out gives zero protection. Well, no one's talking about protection, but it certainly gives you valuable information. So of course it helps, meaning that it will give you all kinds of problems. Kevin Calkin, you do pre-buy inspections. Tell me how many times you found stuff that would have been a nightmare for the owner.
I would say probably 30-40% of the inspections we do come up with something somewhat major.
Yeah, and they're pretty damn happy you did. I mean, now to me, that's protection.
Yes.
Okay, now with Pauline said she bought a car. They told her, look, it's a Juke, a Nissan Juke, 2014. The turbo was replaced, and you might see some residual oil smoking. It was smoking after a month and a half. They took it to a Nissan dealer who said it was done improperly. It's going to cost $4,000 to fix. By the way, would a turbo cost that much?
Yeah, they can, depending on what they want to do along with it. If the intercooler and other things need to be replaced, yeah.
I want to get her an independent opinion. I really do.
We can sure look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pauline, where are you located in general?
In the Westminster area.
Oh, perfect. Kevin is on Colfax west of Wadsworth.
Okay.
He'll take a free look first and let you know what he thinks. But then if he has to do diagnostics, you can talk to him about it. But it's going to be well worth it. I promise you, you need to know what you're facing.
Yes.
And you can trust him. So therefore, if he says, yeah, this needs to be replaced or it wasn't done right, we go back to the first guy. But let's get information first.
Okay.
And he's at, and just reference the show and the Nissan Juke, Pauline. It's 455. It's 303-455-7242.
7242.
Yep, 455-7242. SheridanAutotech.com. So Pauline. So just call us back though. We're gonna, and Kachina, make sure you have her information. So Kevin, on a turbo, if it's done wrong, can it ruin the engine driving around?
Well, yeah, depending on what they do, because it uses the same lubricating oil to lubricate the turbo it does the engine. So if you create a leak or block an oil passage, I've seen guys block them, you can do a lot of damage.
Okay, so this is have you heard anything particular about the Juke, the Nissan?
Not really. I mean, it's a standard Nissan, platform. I'm trying to figure out what they could have done wrong to hurt the turbo, but we'll get a look. We'll figure it out.
Good. And I'd like to know. We'll have you back. Thank you very much. SheridanAutotech.com. Bob Logan, you say refrigerants are changing the first of the year. What does that mean, sir?
They are. So every several years, refrigerants are upgraded, and they're moving to what's called an R32. There's been several changes over the last.
Yeah, but I thought that was done years ago, right? Do they keep getting different ones?
It was. They went from R22. Now we currently use R410, and we're going to an R32. When that happens,
and they're less polluting, possibly, right?
It's mainly meant for the environment, but when that happens, all the equipment prices are going to jump significantly, 20, 25, 30%.
Now, the old ones, can they be retrofitted?
Well, you wouldn't have to retrofit them. You can still get refrigerant for the old ones.
So you still have the...
Over time, that'll phase out and get more expensive to maintain.
Financial health is more than just really the investment.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, good.
I got her. Get coffee. Okay.
Bob, I'm sorry. I thought you were a plumbing company. That's why I said that. Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought it was just heating and...
We do heating, air, electrical, plumbing.
Oh, very cool.
All residential service. We don't do any new construction, no commercial, industrial. Just 100% residential service work.
Very cool. Do you do new construction as well?
No new construction.
Renovation and maintenance.
It's strictly working with homeowners. We don't do apartment complexes. We don't do condominiums. It's single-family residential service. That's it.
Awesome specialty. Now, is yours the company that wears the body camera?
We do not.
Oh, okay. I just heard last week that somebody does that, which I thought was a brilliant idea.
There's a few of them that do. I don't want to do them simply because I just don't see any advantage. You know, the people that use them tell the homeowners this is for your protection and everything, which is fine. But you know, I personally wouldn't want anybody coming into my house with a camera,
Videotaping the way to the basement.
I mean, yeah, all the way throughout the house, and so we've just chosen not to go that direction.
Well, I know several people who had problems with, this is an old Denver neighborhood, like in Highlands when I had a home there. So several of my neighbors had to repair the sewer line, like between their home and the street. Right. And it cost, I'm not kidding, like, I'm not exaggerating. I think one guy paid like $25,000. The other guy wasn't that far off from, I think it may have been $30,000. Why the hell does that cost so much?
It's primarily the labor. It's especially when you're getting into the street. That's when you go from the yard to the street. It'll triple the prices really quick. So if we're just digging up the yard, you know, you can backfill it with dirt. You know, you bed it with pea gravel and everything, and then you backfill with dirt. And if that sinks, no big deal.
Yeah.
You can bring in more soil. But you can't
Street
do that in the sidewalk
sinks.
or the
Yeah.
street. So you got to bring in what's called flow fill. And just that material and everything else, and then the asphalt or concrete or anything.
So that's the expensive part. So if that, let's say that was, if that $25,000 project was limited strictly to the yard, roughly speaking, what would that have cost?
About a third of that.
Okay, well that sounds more reasonable.
Yeah, if it was just in the yard. And there's a lot of factors, depth. So in the neighborhood you're talking about, I think most of the basements are 8-foot basements, and so you're digging, you know, 10, 12, maybe 14 feet deep.
Oh wow. Okay.
But then you get into some areas where they got taller basements or sloping homes. You might get 25 feet in the street.
Holy cow.
And so, you know, 3 neighborhoods over, one job might be 15,000, and this job might be 35,000 for the same exact job.
Sure.
Or, you know, from a homeowner's perspective, they think it's the same exact job.
Yeah, it's a hole in the ground.
Right.
You know,
Right.
That's what they see.
And we do more of those than anybody in the state, and probably in the country, as far as doing them internally.
Oh, okay.
Most of our competitors, in fact, everybody, I don't know a single competitor in town that does the work in-house. They all use subcontractors for it, which is pretty common. And there's nothing wrong with subcontractors, but we want to more control the quality and customer service side of the business. So we bought our own backhoes and dump trucks and have our own crews.
Hey, Bob, it's Bo. Where do you guys buy your condensing units?
We primarily use Carrier. The local distributor is Low Miller.
Yeah, does he still own that, or did he sell out Low Miller? Chuck Low Miller, right?
Yeah, Chuck. So
Chuck.
Yeah, there were 3 other partners, and when Chuck semi-retired, he sold out 75%. So each of the partners took 25%, and then he has since sold out his final shares to them.
He did good. I think he bought that building over there off of Pecos. I think he owned the building.
Yes, he did that. The one in the front, and then he leases out. I think they still lease out part of that, but they've got a location up near Johnstown. They've got one in Colorado Springs.
Yeah. Do you know Jermaine? She's the outside sales lady.
I know Jermaine. She's not our representative.
Is she still working there?
She is.
Yeah, I bet she's doing. You know, she started out in a warehouse at Lennox.
Oh, is that right?
She was a forklift driver, and then she wanted to go into sales, but the upper crusty management of Lennox thought it was a little uncool to be hiring a woman to be a territory manager, and she didn't have a college degree. So she quit and went over to Carrier, and she just ripped Lennox a new one with Carrier sales.
What? That was weird.
Yeah,
she did it. Lennox really made a mistake not promoting her to outside
What's that?
sales.
She does well.
He screwed up his whatever.
Yeah, they're a great organization. Low Miller's a great organization. That's really more. Carrier's a great manufacturer, but I use Carrier more so because of Low Miller and the customer service and the care they take care of you.
Well, they protect you guys because they don't sell Carrier equipment like Johnstone and Lennox and I forget HVAC. They sell to everybody. Where Carrier, they're very persnickety on who you are. You know, you have to have a storefront. They have a criteria in order to buy their equipment.
Right. They do protect the dealers, but again, their customer service is over the top. We were a Train dealer for 14 years. We have sold Lennox equipment, but and again, the manufacturers are fantastic, but you couldn't get local support. Yeah. If you had warranty issues or whatever the situation was, Low Miller will bend over backwards.
Yeah, that's good. I'm afraid of this R32. I hate R32. I mean, that was just coming out when I retired. It seems like you need a lot more coil surface in order to get the proper cooling effect.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm the last one you want to be talking technical to, and you definitely don't want me in your house trying to repair something.
Yeah, there's just a subcooling effect of R32. It just isn't good, but everyone's going to it now.
All I know is I like that Dave Lennox guy. He wears overalls.
They showed me that footage.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, Tom Martino here. 303-713-TALK is the number, or 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind anywhere. Solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints, making your life a little easier. And one of the things that just keeps coming up time and time again is getting your car checked out, getting it checked out before you buy it. You can find a lot of problems before you buy it. Not everything's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. And again, we had a call last hour, and this is where a dealer, though, did disclose they did the turbo, gave her the paperwork, and it was leaking. And now they say a dealer says it was done all wrong, has to be redone. It's going to be $4,000. She would have found that out had she had the car checked out, or if it's true. We're going to find out. We're going to have it checked again. So we provide all kinds of services to people. We have independent experts that can help you. We have deputies that can work on problems. And we have all kinds of other things that we do for you. And I'm going to go to the studio now where here we have Bob Logan with us from Plumline Services. We were talking about cars, when to invest money in them and when to replace them. You can replay it if you guys listening either on the iHeartRadio app. You can do that first hour. And it was about 17 minutes, I think, past the hour. You can do that, or you can go on YouTube and check out the podcast. Now I want to switch that to HVAC because a lot of people ask us that. Tom, they said the blower motor's bad. Don't bother replacing the blower motor. Now, Bob, just a job like that, a range for a blower motor. I'm thinking 600. I don't know, Bob. What do you say?
Typically you're around 1,000 or better. Yeah,
really?
For a blower motor.
My goodness gracious. Everything is so. Probably the motor itself is probably wholesale 600. Up. Who knows? Okay. So, 1,000 or better. Let's talk about what other things are even serviceable anymore on a furnace. What is actually serviceable? Really serviceable?
Capacitors, igniters, a lot of the
valves, gas valves.
Yeah, I mean all that stuff.
Not burners though, right? Or
almost everything is serviceable, including a heat exchanger. Now when a heat exchanger has a crack in it, it has the potential to leak carbon monoxide. That's one thing we're always looking for. And
you can literally
you
take
can,
that cabinet apart and put in a new heat exchanger?
You can put in a new heat exchanger, yes. But typically the cost to do something like that doesn't make sense in almost any scenario because you're better off just replacing the furnace.
And in a newer one that's probably warranted anyway, isn't it?
Oh yeah, just like a car, you get a 10-year or in some cases,
like with a Carrier.
Warranty.
What is the heat exchanger warranted for with a new Carrier right now?
20-year on the heat exchanger.
Now is that labor too?
No. So depending on the system you get, you'll typically get a 1 to 5 year on the labor side, 10-year on the furnace itself, and then 20-year on the heat exchanger. So that's again depending on the system.
There's a lot of labor in a heat exchanger, right?
Oh yeah. Again, if you were changing out the heat exchanger in an older furnace, almost exclusively we'd tell you you're much better off just going ahead and replacing it.
All right, so let's talk about then, if you did that then, let's say you had a 12 or 13 or 15-year Carrier that has a 20-year warranty on the heat exchanger. Can you apply the money for the heat exchanger to a new furnace? I mean, in other words, if you don't have it done, you don't take advantage of the warranty.
Yeah, typically you don't. I mean, it's just like an automobile, you know, if
Yeah. So parts with no labor warranties, I mean, truly, in the furnace world, when does that ever help?
Say that again?
In the furnace world, not just plumb lines world, but the whole furnace world, you have mostly parts guaranteed.
Right.
Not labor.
Correct.
You guys have your own form of labor warranty. I don't want to talk about that now, but you do have warranty on some labor. But let's just talk about the typical industry. If you don't have labor warranties, folks, listen to this. If you have a furnace and they say you got a parts warranty and it's like 10 or 15 years, okay, in 15 years, if that heat exchanger goes out, big deal if it has a 20-year warranty. You're not going to have it replaced. It's too expensive, right?
Right, because the labor side of it.
Okay, so now...
Again, and this isn't just our industry. This is a lot of industries that are similar to this.
Yeah,
but what we do, Tom, and to keep from overcomplicating everything, anytime we go to your home and we service your furnace, we will give you options of a repair, and if it makes sense, options for replacement. Especially with an older system, 10, 12, 15 years old. And we'll walk through the math like you did with the car.
Right.
And say, okay, you're currently paying this on your utility bills. You're going to save on your utility bills. It's going to cost you this much to repair it. This is going to be your monthly payment on a new furnace, or you can pay cash for it. And we just go through all the different scenarios with a homeowner. And just like an automobile, there's budget cars and there's luxury cars. Furnace and air conditioning systems are the same thing.
But let's say you have a 10-year...
that just simply heats and cools, or you can get one that communicates. And
No, I get it. But so then when is it good to have a parts warranty beyond 10 years? I mean, when would you ever use it? I mean, for anything. Tell me the parts that would be worth replacing under warranty. Like with the warranty, I mean.
Well...
Like a blower motor? Do they have warranties?
Yeah, a blower motor would have a warranty.
And that would be worth it because there's not terrible amount of labor with that, right?
Correct. Right, exactly.
Okay, what else?
So
a gas valve?
Almost anything.
Except the heat exchanger.
Anything but the heat exchanger.
Okay, so warranties do count for almost anything on a furnace because the parts are expensive and the labor's not that prohibitive. But with a heat exchanger, the labor becomes prohibitive.
I mean, you're almost rebuilding the entire furnace.
Of course you are. You're taking the whole thing apart, right? Okay, so now, when it comes to the age of a furnace and money spent, when let's take, is $1,000 repair unusual on a furnace for a major repair?
Not at all unusual, no.
Okay, would it be $2,000 then? What's closer to a normal average repair? I'm not talking about just a minor stuff like a thermocouple.
Say $1,000, $1,500.
Okay, so on a $1,500 repair then, when to me $1,500 versus new systems, Bob, are 12 to 20 or more.
Or more.
Oh my God. Okay. Well,
and again, they're going to go up by 20, 30% January 1.
But $1,200 to $1,500, even $1,500 compared to $15,000, that to me it's worth doing a repair. When would you not do that?
Well, there's a lot more to take into consideration too, as far and probably the same thing with a car, because there's safety. You know, a newer car has better technology for safety.
Yeah.
Furnace, the same thing. So these are the conversations we have with our clients. What is important to you? Is saving the environment and having a lower impact on the environment important to you? Is it saving on your utilities? Do you wake up every time you're?
I don't think anyone cares about the environment. I mean, when it comes right down to,
I know what you're saying.
For their house.
Do you want to save on utilities? Does your furnace wake you up every time it kicks on at night?
Yeah.
The older furnaces are very loud. The newer ones are quiet. Do you have hot and cold spots in the house? So
can you have a newer furnace save you that much money on a monthly bill?
In Colorado, it's difficult just because we don't have a long cooling season. Some places like Phoenix or Atlanta, yes, utilities can almost offset the payment in some regards. Where in Colorado, like we have more of a cooling or a heating season, and our gas prices are so inexpensive. Will you save money? You'll absolutely save money.
But it may not pay back as quickly as somewhere else.
Correct. That's exactly right. And heat pumps use electricity rather than the gas, and those are becoming more and more popular. So,
and here's another thing I tell people: if you're going to do a solar system, get your HVAC. If your HVAC system is 10 years or older, get it replaced, because you'll get a tax credit on the whole amount if it's bundled together.
Yep, that's correct.
And you'll never do a better deal than that. Now, here's something I want to know: how long? If I put in a really good system right now, you guys do Carrier and a bunch of other, how long will it take? Oh, I just lost my picture because I've been messing with my camera. Sorry, guys, I'll redo that. How long does it take to, how long will it last is what I'm asking.
If it's maintained, it should last 20 years. But unlike a car where people take it in for normal oil changes, tire rotations, and they do the service they're supposed to, almost nobody, I should say, does that with furnace and air conditioning systems. And so most of them aren't maintained the way they should. So that's why they're failing in 10 years.
Okay.
But if it's maintained every single year by a licensed professional, you should get 15 or 20 years out of it.
All right, 303-713-8255. By the way, people, I know my YouTube picture's out. I'm rebooting that, so that'll be on. And we have more coming up on the Troubleshooter show. By the way, Renew Home Innovations will do a beautiful shower conversion for you with stone-like walls with no maintenance whatsoever, glass panels that curve. And when I say curve, that you go around a corner, you don't need doors anymore, no thresholds to stumble over. You can use walkers or wheelchairs if you're older. They can completely customize it. In 2 or 3 days, they can do this. 72 months to pay with no interest. It's unbelievable. RenewHomeInnovations.com, 303-904-2000.
Yep. During Cybersecurity Awareness Month, LifeLock wants to give you helpful tips to protect your identity. Using multi-factor authentication can be a line of defense to help protect your personal information. But LifeLock offers comprehensive protection against identity theft. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes issues that arise, guaranteed or your money back. Protect your identity today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use my name, Clay, as the promo code. Terms apply.
Hey, Vestera Turnkey is a way for you to get involved in real estate investing without the high risk, the phone calls, the problems. You can be a landlord with the Vestera Turnkey way. Now, esteemed broker Barry Miller, who I've known for more than 30 years, he's put together this plan where he researches the hottest markets in the country, and he counsels on when to buy them and how to buy them and when to sell them and how to rent them, and he has a management company. It's all taken out of your hands, hassle-free. You don't even have to take a phone call, and you can double your money in 2 years. You can also make a positive cash flow from day one. This is Vestera Turnkey. Find out more at their webinar, okay? Now, it's coming up on the 26th, and it is going to be a webinar, so you can do it from your home or office. Here's how you sign up: mybiggestrureturn.com, mybiggestrureturn.com. Hey, speaking of investing and life in general, Keel and Park are estate planning attorneys that do business in a very simple way. What they do is they will interview you on all of your estate and what you need, or they'll discern what you need. That's all free, complimentary. They come up with a plan, complimentary, and then that plan has associated with it flat rate pricing. You decide how much you want to do. It's that easy. Keel and Park, lawkp.com. 970-818-8198, 970-818-8198. The Art of Granite. They'll do your granite countertops or your marble or your quartz or your quartzite, any countertop, whether natural stone or man-made, and give you a price on the phone. Wholesale on all materials, tear out and haul away is free. There's still time to get it done before the holidays. 303-386-5919. Get your price right now. 303-386-5919. Theartofgranite.com.
Yay.
Okay.
I'm going to get some coffee. Would you like some?
You know, I would love a cup of coffee. I can go up there with you. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine, yeah. How much time do I have, Shannon? Yeah, never mind.
Hey, we got a call.
What's that?
Good morning. Thanks so much for calling the Troubleshooter Show. How can I help you? Can I ask you something? Do you have me on a speakerphone or? Okay, all right. It's a little hard to understand you. I got about every third word. So you were in a car accident? Okay. Well, okay. Back up here. You have a felony? Of what?
Okay, guys, I rebooted my video. We should be up and running again.
Oh, okay. I don't understand what you want to talk to Tom about.
Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. What's going on in your life? Okay, I want to ask a question. I hope people will chime in and be honest about this. Now, a lot of people, of course, and I don't blame them, they're sick and tired of political pontificating and, the likes of everybody from Taylor Swift to Robert De Niro telling you who to vote for, and they get crazy about it. And Hulk Hogan and anybody. Okay, I'm not here to tell you who to vote for, how to vote, why to vote. I'm just here to ask a question, and I'm serious about this. I want to know if you know a company or a person in a company is a staunch conservative or a staunch progressive, and they feel really strongly about their conservative beliefs and their conservative politics. What that looks like, I don't know. That's the thing. I'm not going to define that for you. But what you have learned or come to learn, that stands for. Again, I think a lot of it's inaccurate. I think a lot of it's exaggerated. But my question to you is very simple. And I'm doing some research here. I really want to know this. If you have someone in the car business, a mechanic, HVAC, plumbing, cooling, electrical, drains, investment advising, you have someone in carpeting, floor coverings, you have someone, anyone, and you know they are either one way or the other, they are very strict in their political beliefs, not in their business, I'm talking about in their political beliefs. Would that influence you on where to do business? Would you stop doing business with them? I really want to know that. And you two morons, you can chime in. I don't know how to do a poll, damn it, but you can chime in. I want to know if it would matter to you. Does it matter to you if a business is conservative? Now, I don't mean I shouldn't say the business, or like the people behind it, the owners, the principals. If they're very conservative or very progressive, would it matter to you? Let me know. Now, I'm going to go to the phones and help people out. Pamela has an issue with an apartment. Pamela, welcome to the show. I'm Tom Martino. What's going on, Pamela?
Hi.
Hi, Pamela.
You had helped me before. The apartment that I'm in had a drunk driver had drove through my bedroom window.
Oh, my God, I remember that. Oh.
I'm still in that same building, and now it's like the Venezuelans are here, and I'm 62 years old.
Now, wait a minute. Now, when you said, hold on, you rent an apartment, and you say the Venezuelans are here, you don't mean like we've heard about them taking over and all that, right?
No, it's just that they party all night. They're out there every night acting up, and I'm 62, and I'm single by myself, and I'm disabled.
How do you know they're Venezuelans?
Because I've talked to them.
Okay, and
I've talked to them.
They live there and they're partying all night.
Every night, and our security is not doing anything. The office is not doing anything, and so I put in to move into some new apartments called the Mosaic Community. And they told me that I had the apartment. This was
now. Let me ask you something, Pamela. When you say you applied for a new community, are you on Section 8 or any other kind of housing?
Yes, I'm on housing.
Okay, and you wanted to move from where you are to somewhere else.
Yes. So I put in for apartment, and they okayed it, and I'm ready to move and everything. And then Thursday, I call him, and he tells me, now I can't move in because of my felony. They knew I had the felony when I applied for the apartment.
By the way, is this Section 8? Is this Section 8?
Yes.
What kind of felony is it?
It's a DV, a domestic violence.
Here's what I want to ask you, Pamela. What about if you're on Section 8 now and you applied for another apartment and they turned you down due to a felony? Are they now going to say, what?
They had accepted.
No, I know, Pamela. This is what I'm asking now. I'm asking, now that you were turned down for a new apartment because of a felony, are they going to go back and take away your Section 8 for the one you're in?
No, they're not, but I had already put in my 30-day notice.
But if you hadn't put in your 30-day notice, would they have gone back and taken away your Section 8 now that they know you have a felony?
No.
Can you rescind your 30-day notice and stay where you are?
I can't get in touch with the people in the office because they're scared to come in the office now. And
wait a minute. You're telling me that people are afraid to come to the office at your apartment complex because of partying Venezuelans?
No, because they got a threat that they was going to kill somebody in the office.
Who said they were going to kill someone in the office?
Somebody had called anonymously and told them that they was going to kill the people in the office. So now it's hard to even get in touch with anybody in the office.
Where is this apartment complex? Don't give me the exact address, but where is it?
It's the Atria Apartments in Leesdale. It's like Glendale, Denver.
It's called Atrium?
Atri, A-T-R-I-I.
Oh.
Is that on Leedsdale and Forest?
Yes.
Atri?
Yeah, I've seen it.
A-T-R-I-I.
I don't know how many eyes, but I think it's just one.
It's 2 eyes.
2 eyes.
An Atria apartment, and Venezuelans live there. You know, okay. So we need to find someone
They're even scared to be in the office.
Is that Glendale or Denver? Do you know?
That right in that area, whatever.
The borderline.
Hey guys, who in the studio wants to make a quick phone call over there?
I can call over there, Tom, and talk to him and see if we can get this lady an extension or expunge her 30-day.
Or to rescind it right now until she finds another place. But Pamela, are you saying they won't allow you to? See, I'm afraid if we make noise about this felony on a new place, they're going to say, well, she shouldn't even be where she is now.
Well, I've been here, and when I moved in, I had the felony.
How long have you been there?
3 years.
Okay.
This was my 3rd year.
All right.
Pamela, are you dealing with Section 8 or
yes.
the actual property management company that manages the H?
My Section 8 is through Well Power, which used to be the Mental Health Corporation of Denver.
Okay.
So that's who we need to contact.
Yeah, that's who denied her.
Can't you call them, Pamela?
She called them. They denied her, Bo.
Okay.
Here's what we want to ask. She wants to ask, why was she approved for this place, but not for the Mosaic?
I got it.
The Mosaic is the one. The Mosaic approved me, and then at the last minute they told me now they couldn't take me.
I get it
because of my felony. Even after they had the housing inspection and everything.
No, we get it.
And they wanted me. Yeah, they wanted me to move in right away, and I couldn't because I want to keep my record.
We got to figure this out. I'm going to have Bo make a few calls.
Pamela, I'll call. Your goal is to stay at the A tree.
No, her goal is to stay at the A tree because she gave a 30 days notice. But then ultimately she would like to leave and go to the Mosaic, but they turned her down due to a previous felony that they found. But she wants to know that's inconsistent because they didn't turn her down at the A tree. Why would they turn her down at Mosaic? I mean, it's all very, very logical. I understand. But right now what we'd like to do is get her for sure not to have to leave in 30 days because she gave her notice. Now, here's the other thing. If you...
And I was just wondering why would the Mosaic accept me and then wait?
I know. That's what we need to find out. Why? There's a lot of whys.
That hurt
One thing about the party in Venezuelans, again, I'm hearing a lot of this. I don't know if it's true or not, but according to Denying News, nothing's going on. By the way, that's my new name for him, Denying News. Because everything, except of course if it's against Trump, is denying news. Anyway, you guys can use that now. Spread it around. Somebody ought to make a logo. No more 9 News. Denying News. I think that's cool. Denying News. Now you heard it first on the Troubleshooter Show. We got more coming right up on the Troubleshooter Show. Speaking of that, 303-713-8255.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
New problems up on the north end of town. If you're southbound I-25, be aware there's a wreck working right at 104th Avenue. It's got the two left lanes closed off, that express lane and the left main line. So you want to work yourself to the right side of the highway. We're already seeing those backups stretching past the 128th Avenue Bridge. Once you clear that, looking good, even headed into downtown. Looks like we got a new issue here, westbound I-70, right at that ramp getting onto 270. That entire stretch jammed back to 225 right now. Denver weather for today, partly cloudy skies and a high up to 81 degrees. Right now we're at 68. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Aaron O'Neill, 630 KHOW.
This week on Red Pilled America, we tell the story of how The Apprentice made Trump a national hero and detail the first time Kamala Harris took her boss's job, and it wasn't Joe. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pilled America.
O'Brien Legal Services. That's Brad O'Brien and his team for real estate law. If you're a landlord right now, you know you have a lot of challenges with the new eviction laws and squatters and a host of other problems that you face. O'Brien Legal Services does everything real estate, including landlord help. If you need help, give him a call because he can handle it. That's all he does is real estate stuff. So if you have any real estate problems or you just need contracts gone over, olslaw.com, 720-370-7388.
Thank you.
How much time do I have now? Shannon.
What?
How much time?
Like 8 minutes. You only did one 30-second spot. Go pee.
Like
go.
4 minutes, Mason?
Exactly. Get out.
I just want to get my coffee.
You're high maintenance. You're like having a 1980s Jaguar. God,
She's right about the Venezuelans. I drive by that apartment complex.
Denying news says you're wrong.
Oh, of course they do. But it looks like the third world in front of that building. Stolen cars up and down the street.
I help some Venezuelans.
All good.
Kind of
I'm about wore out 13-year-old.
And I hate when
You know what? I needed an extra
my
day.
mission
I really could have used
Oh,
one more day of rest.
any giant group of people, you're going to have good and bad and ugly, right?
This is ground zero of stolen vehicles.
No, I get it. I totally get it. I'm not denying.
Well, Iran doesn't have a missile that can get out of the Mediterranean.
It looks exactly how the third world
Who are they
looks
trying to
on
bomb?
the internet.
I know they'd love to.
No,
bomb us.
it's criminal.
Yeah, it's not going to
It is treasonous. What the people in government and law enforcement have allowed to happen is absolute treasonous. Absolutely treasonous. Sorry about my terrible grammar.
But I'd love to see them fail and to have Trump basically say, "Oh, you want to start this with me right now? All right, let's take it on, guys. I got Moabs, bitches." Good morning. Thanks so much for calling the Tom Martino Show. I'm doing great. How are you? I'm sorry, what? Oh, did you want to call the news line? I can't. I don't have that,
Transferring now.
don't have the ability to transfer, but hang on and I can probably give it to you. Hold on.
8,500. 8,500.
Is it 713-8500?
Yep.
All right, 303-713-8500. Uh-huh.
Big time.
appears to be in Glendale.
Huh.
And it would
Well,
be really nice to talk to them.
there has been a dramatic increase
To get
in
their view of
testicular
that
injuries
apartment
in women's
apartment
sports.
complex.
Well, you know what? And I was a little unhappy about this. So Haley has to go play in tournaments.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Benefit of all the
And
stress.
usually
of
they're either on Friday or Monday, so it's kind of weird. I
What? I was
really
gonna
understand about
what
that.
I was just gonna mention when you were walking in
So
here. I noticed your
she
belt's
went
like on
to
the last notch.
Arcadia.
Not that I was looking at your belt.
It's out by Pasadena.
So
by
yeah.
Kind of area.
40 over the last 4.
And
So anyway,
for the
here's the deal.
first time,
my car was
the
parked
locker room
at the health club. I came out and
had
the gas
a
tank.
sign over
So they were
women
kind enough to do the
that
video.
said,
It was there when I pulled in. So I got to figure out
does
where I
it-
was before. I mean,
630
it's
K-How.
obvious something I did. Like, truly.
You would have noticed.
But I gotta remember. It doesn't matter. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Glenn's got an issue with Pep Boys. Glenn, what's happening?
I took my car in for an oil change and had them check the brakes while I was there.
Yeah.
And they told me all 4 brakes are bad, and they wanted almost $900 to fix them.
Wow.
So I took it to my mechanic out in Lakewood, who I've gone to for 30 years for major mechanical work, and he said the brakes were just fine. Didn't need any. The pads are only about half worn out.
Hold on a second. Did you have that put in writing that you needed 900 in repairs? Did you have him spell it out? I would have.
Yes, I did.
Oh, you have that. And your mechanic said there's nothing wrong with them.
Right, I have that in writing too.
Did you? Okay,
So
cool.
I went to
Go ahead.
went to a third place just as a tiebreaker, and they said the brakes were fine as well. So there's two subsequent mechanics that said the brakes were fine, and they tried to charge me over almost $900 at Pep Boys for brakes that weren't bad at all.
Did you go back and say something to them?
I went back to the store, and the mechanic just blew me off. He was very condescending, and like it was a big joke. And
Did you get his name?
I can't pronounce it. It's a foreign name, but he's
We all have foreign names.
Store manager.
Okay, so hold
I
on.
called the, I called
Where's the Pep Boys?
On South Parker Road, 1390 South Parker Road. I called the corporate office 3 times to complain about it, and nobody ever called me back. And when I called the last time, they said they don't. I wanted my the first mechanic charged me $40 for taking the tires off and checking the brakes and so on.
Wait a
And I
minute.
said,
You
"I
were
want my
charged.
$40."
Wait, you weren't there for something else where they told you had bad brakes. You went in there. Why did you go in there to begin with?
To get my oil changed.
And in addition, wait, they charged you $40 in addition to
No, the first mechanic I went to after that charged me $40 to check the brakes.
Oh, you want the $40 that you had to spend to get a second opinion.
Yeah, but that's a minor point. And you know, I can understand that they don't reimburse for second opinions. That's not the issue. But the issue is they tried to charge me $900 for brakes.
I think we should let them know.
And I called the corporate office, and they
I want you to give that information to Kachina. I'm going to have Deputy D drop a dime on him and say, look, we got this complaint, and I want to get the guy's name. Can you spell the guy's name that blew you off?
Here it is, Aneco.
Aneco.
Richardson's his last name. Service manager.
What's his last name?
Richardson.
Oh, okay. So he's the manager.
Service manager. He's the one that told me that refused to work with me when I went back in there.
So Aneco Richardson, right?
Correct.
Okay. Service manager. He blew you off when you went back to talk to him.
Right. And I mean, I got a little angry and stormed out of there, but because he wasn't.
Is he the one? Is he the one that told you? Is he the one that told you you needed you needed brakes? Is he the one?
Yes.
Oh, all right. We're going to call him too. And this is on 1390 South Parker Road, Pep Boys. You know, I have to be straight with you. I don't get a lot of complaints about Pep Boys like we used to. We used to get a ton of them. Two places we used to get a lot of complaints about that subsided a bit. Pep Boys was one, and car toys. And they cleaned up their act a bit. Now, I'm not saying they're golden. I'm just saying we haven't had a lot. We're going to call, though, and try to get a response.
I can give you a number for the corporate customer service department, too. They refuse to call me back.
Yeah. You give all of that to Kachina, or you give your number to Kachina, and Deputy D, he'll call you right now and get that information, and let's try to figure it out. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. One Clear Choice Garage Doors for your garage door needs. All of them, including openers, complete openers, every part of the opener, or the brand new digital openers with Wi-Fi capability, time to close feature, battery backups, and of course, garage doors themselves. One of the best companies I know because they have all of their prices on their website. OneClearChoiceDoors.com.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock.
Well, our two big problems we had on the drive out here have been cleared out of your way. That wreck southbound I-25 at 104th gone. Traffic moving a lot better at the front of the jam. We're still seeing those delays, though, from 136 as you push down through the North Glen area. Also, the wreck on the ramp westbound I-70 getting onto westbound 270. That is gone. We're a little heavy. That drive rolling across from 225. Everywhere else, we seem to be up to speed. We aren't dealing with any other significant issues here in town. As we take a look at your weather forecast for today, partly cloudy skies, high up to 81 today. Partly cloudy overnight, get down to 47. Right now, we're at 73 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Aaron O'Neill, 630 KHOW.
Every 3 seconds, there's a new victim of identity theft in the U.S. This Cybersecurity Awareness Month, get LifeLock for comprehensive identity theft protection. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious activity of your personal information. Start your 30-day free trial at lifelock.com/cybersafety.
All right. If you want to get health insurance now during open enrollment, whether it's Medicare Supplement or Medicare Advantage or regular health insurance, I fully endorse and recommend Integra Insurance, because here's why. You don't pay a dime more going to a broker. They're licensed professionals that can help you sift through all of the plans. There are dozens of plans. Which one is best for you? They will compare them all. Give them a call. It's worth every penny, which you don't pay a dime for them, okay? So they get paid by insurance, and you don't ever save going direct, so use them. Integra Insurance, the people I know and trust, the people I have been using for years. 303-466-5500, 303-466-5500. Someone else I've been using for years, ZeroResDenver.com. I am telling you, you will be amazed at how they clean your carpets, but more importantly, how there's no odor, there's no residue, there's no crust, there's nothing. Your carpets dry almost immediately and stay clean longer because there is nothing used except purified, softened water, the best cleaning agent in nature. I am telling you, you have never seen a clean like this or felt a clean like this. So your entire house feels cleaner. The air is cleaner because your carpets are the biggest air filter in your home. 303-471-5150. The finest carpet cleaning and best value anywhere. ZeroResDenver.com.
Very kind, thank you.
All right.
What's really going to happen if I take it 10 minutes early?
Do it. Get on it.
Governor Polis.
I mean,
Underplays the impact of Venezuelan gain.
Imagine a side effect that would.
Of course he does.
Trump called him a chicken shit.
He wants them to vote for him.
Hasn't yet.
Wow, these guys, it's amazing how many people are telling me on texting that they would not go to a company
Those trunk shows are such a
if they disagreed with them politically.
Oh yeah, same here.
I see it a lot.
That's why not because he's a bad guy. People, you got to really keep that kind of close to the vest.
Yeah, it depends on how extreme you go too. I mean, it's one thing, but
I did one for oh God, who's the one across from the Butterfly Pavilion?
Is that a
Shane, yeah, I think it's Shane
I think
Company.
what Mike Lindell ended
Yeah,
up doing
so I did.
is akin to what the man who signed the Declaration of Independence did. I mean, they were destroyed economically, personally,
Like, I was watching all these people,
and he's
and I'm like, dude,
he's
you're
the modern
wasting
version
your
of
money.
Do you go to Colorado Springs yet?
soon. In fact, I want to talk to Mike about buying his company
I know, man. You know what?
because the PE he sold to completely screwed him.
The who? I didn't know Robinson sold. You're talking about he had sold already. No. I know. No. Hey, listen. I know. He's a good guy, man. He's a good guy, dude. And he really ran it. I didn't know. I really don't. I mean, I can text you. Yeah, no. I know. Okay.
Do you think it would? Okay.
No, you should, but I can warm it up because. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Now, we are calling Pep Boys to find out about that problem. Now we have some other things to go over. I asked if you would patronize a business if they let their political beliefs be known, and if you found out they were staunch conservatives or staunch progressives. I'm getting a very interesting response on text. Feel free to call me too if you'd like to discuss it. This is not about whether it's right or wrong. It's about how does it affect your buying decisions as a consumer. I have always told my clients that you should really keep your political and religious beliefs to yourself. I mean, I'm not saying about in your private life. I'm talking about in your ads or in your promotions. You should never give the impression something is better than something else. I mean, because if they feel like you're preaching to them as a conservative or a progressive or a diehard, pick the religion, it may have a negative effect. Not that any of those things would be right or wrong, but that what you want to do, I think, is appeal to people's sense of value. I mean, value meaning for what you're doing, your services, and your experience and your credibility. But listen to this. One guy says, I vote with my, I don't know if it's a guy, but this texter, I vote with my money. If I don't like the beliefs, I will not shop there. Now, you know, Mike Lindell with My Pillow, that company, his company has been canceled by many, many, many big box stores. They won't carry him. Okay, here's another one. I say that if you're a radical MAGA person, I will never shop with you or spend money with you. If you're just a regular Democrat or Republican, maybe. Someone else says, if they're super woke, I want them to go super broke. I'm trying to think what I would do. I think if someone is hateful, whether they're conservative or progressive, I would not shop or do business with them. Like a guy like De Niro. No, I'm serious. I mean, there are people that are crazy hateful. And I don't think that I would want to shop anywhere that's radical because I just would rather not. But I think people are entitled to their own beliefs. I don't want them to be hateful. And on that topic, I have another question, and I'm serious. Who's more hateful? I have had this discussion time and time again. I've had it with Mark. I've had it with, Major Mark Major. I've had it with a lot of people. I'm not going to tell you what I think. I want to know what you think. Who is more hateful when it comes to expressing their beliefs and the other side and how crazy? Who do you think are meaner and more hateful? Seriously. I was reading an article where people on both sides, people have lost friendships, relatives, family members, to Facebook friends to these beliefs. It's I don't know if it's ever been like that before. I know there's always been some division, but my God, I have never seen it. And let's just say it like it is. It's ever since, I'm not saying he's responsible. I'm not. But it's ever since Trump came to the scene. That's when I started seeing this division. I mean, really. Now, I'm not saying it's him. I swear to God, I'm not. It might be the reaction to him. I'm saying that I've never seen the division, but I want to know what you think. Please, you can text me 57739 or my Google number or call me. The Google number is a private number, and it comes to my cell phone. Honest to God, it does. 747-999-5280. 747-999-5280. And I'd like to know what you think. I've had people tell me so far, yes, they do care. Now, who's meaner? Who's more vile? Who has a tendency, do you believe, to take it too far? I'm Tom Martino. I'd like to know. 303-713-8255.
Always so polite, shit.
F off.
Can I go back to sleep?
Oh, yes.
Hello? Yes, it is. You're right about that. Why don't you call the main number? And that's a great thought. You're calling my Google number. Why don't you call that number? That's a great. I'd love to hear this. Can you call? Will you call the talk line and talk about it? Yeah, 303-713. 8255.
Where are you headed?
And then you're going to just have to do it in about 3 or 4 minutes so you don't have to wait. Thanks, bye. You know, is this giving out that text number, that private Google number that forwards? I can shut it off at any time, but it's really cool to have. It really makes a connection. People can't believe I answer. So, by the way, I got my registration. We are up and running. My financial advisor. Everything is official.
Outstanding.
Yeah, it really is. It's.
Good morning. Thanks so much for calling the Tom Martino Show. How can I help you?
I did it for myself mainly, but I like it. I think it's fun.
What's your name?
So,
All right, hang on for me.
I love stuff. I love stuff, man.
Isn't it funny how people view age?
6 months tomorrow.
Yeah.
62 years old. She wanted to make
Jupiter's
it sound like
way
she
the hell out.
was old. I'm like, 62? That's nothing.
Okay.
Getting old and growing old are two different things.
All right. So I got old. Here's another.
Going to get my celery. Don't.
Stay awake the entire time?
I don't feel.
Oh my God.
Just check it. I mean,
I may kick your ass.
use the right foot. Of course, then you have balance on the left. So, yeah. I don't know. Be difficult.
Probably would have aged anything in the world.
I'm your favorite. You know it.
I could not imagine going through something like that with my daughter.
We've been going through 4 months of testing, and then in the very beginning, I started thinking, oh my God, she wasn't getting better. But then when this oncologist came, holy shit, I'd like to tell you what it can be like.
Thanks for calling the Troubleshooter Show. Please hold a moment.
It always goes fast when I'm on. Seems to. Yeah, I was. We just decided to re-up our lease where we were. So we're still on our location in Centennial that you've been to.
Yeah, that's a nice location.
It is. We've outgrown it.
And operations separate, like business and technical. Those businesses won't outgrow so fast. That can all be centralized. Would the one in Centennial be your administrative office? No, that would be your technical. Right, and then you'd have a separate administrative office. It's a good idea, Bob. No matter what. It's not even so much for sexual function. It's for bones and brain. And the other thing is, if you don't do it, your estrogen gets higher. And if you notice how men start looking a bit. I'm not saying you're pretty or anything. I'm just. No, it's really. I have a great clinic now that does.
What? Two
I had a
calls?
clinic that I was going to. Concierge, I like.
You got celery in a shot?
No matter what.
Isn't it a double? That's like a double shot.
Included blood work in it.
My God.
I found a better
I don't know.
It's a
I
clinic
found
that
it.
just charges.
I'm going to dip my celery into it so I can put salt
I
on it.
think that to me is when you do it. But in other
The
words,
salt
it's not a regular
sticks.
monthly fee. Although that monthly fee is stuff built in.
What?
I
10
did
seconds.
the math.
Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website.
Dollar. That's dollar.
Enter it now.
At khow.com. Inflation salvation. On 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Welcome. We have Bob Logan with us from Plumline Services, and he's going to chime in on some stuff I want to ask about. But first, I asked another question about politics. Does it play a role? This is a consumer show, and I really want to know. In fact, to be honest with you, I had a lot of endorsement clients and people ask me in general, sponsors, how people feel and is it affecting business. They wanted to know what I thought. So I said, I'm going to ask my listeners. Now, Andrew, does it make do politics play a part in your spending?
Yes, I think they do. After, I guess a Taylor Swift kind of endorsement of Kamala Harris,
yeah.
I think that kind of divided some people.
Yes.
On that, but I did want to make the point of I think a lot of kind of the animosity kind of started when that scandal came out regarding the IRS employees kind of singling out the Tea Partiers.
Yeah, that was before Trump, the Tea Party. You're right.
Yeah, and I think at that point we realized that how people are able to even use a governmental institution to single out particular groups, which is pretty scary.
Right. Now one thing that does bother me, Andrew, as you bring that up, the Justice Department and how they were investigating Catholics and parents who went to school board meetings. Think about that. I mean,
true.
If you were a parent sticking up for your kids in school, you were a radical. And of course, it gets into everything else. But we should have a say in our education. And it does. I have a T-shirt. I haven't worn it yet, but it says "Disagreement doesn't mean hate." And I haven't worn it yet, but it's so true. Disagreement doesn't have to be hate. So, Andrew, on that topic, who do you think is more hateful? Or maybe neither. You don't have to pick one. Do you think there are people, both sides are the same? Or do you think that staunch conservatives or staunch progressives or woke people or whatever, who do you think are more hateful?
I think it's pretty even. Honestly, I mean, I think people, are in general, their human nature is just when you're attacked, you attack sometimes. But I think it's on both sides, honestly.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much. Diane, welcome to the show. I'm Tom Martino. What do you think?
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
No, I disagree with Andrew. What could be more hateful than to try and assassinate somebody? Funny you should ask. I mean, is that hateful enough?
Oh, that's hateful for sure. Now, Diane, I can't think, and I can't think of an instant. I want to ask you, I mean, I don't know, but there must have been conservative people accused of assassination attempts. I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm thinking out loud because I don't really know. No.
There's no news of anybody shooting at her.
No, you're right. But I'm talking about previously.
She's not dodging any bullets. She's not dodging any
Let's
bullets.
Let's see. There was an attempt against Reagan, and Reagan was conservative. There was an attempt against who else? And of course Trump. And by the way, did you know there was? And thank you for calling, Diane. There was one more recent, just yesterday or the day before. They stopped another attempt. Did you know that? They at one of the political rallies, they arrested a guy with high capacity gun ammo. No, I'm trying to find the article. It was true. Just the other day, they say they prevented another, what they believe would have been. Now, they don't know that for sure, but they say that they did interrupt an assassination attempt. Patty, what do you think, Patty? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, hi there. Okay, so I used to be an independent until Trump took over. Before that, I felt that Democrats and Republicans, you had your sides, and then, you kind of meet for a beer afterwards, and it would be done. Once Trump took over, there was a huge division. And, I mean, basically, when you asked that question, the first thing I thought of was January 6th. And I think that's self-explanatory about. Now, I like Republicans. I have no problem with Republicans. I have problems with MAGA. I have problems with anything that is extreme. And that goes for left as well. I don't like black and white. I like a happy medium.
I get it.
And when Trump took over, and to your point, he may not have caused it, but he did give permission for them to come out of the woodwork. And I'm one of those that I've had friends. We stopped talking because I found out what they were really all about. And so to answer that question, I mean, you just hear just the nastiness.
No, I know.
Out of their mouth.
You know what, Patty? I think that goes around. You're right, on both sides. Patty, one thing that I have found that helps me truly is like I tend to be conservative about many issues, conservative like economically and stuff, but socially, I really want to love and let people live, and as long as they're not hurting people. But here's what I have found: when I find people who I disagree with, I truly try to look at their motivation, and it always helps me because here's what I say to myself: no matter how conservative or liberal someone is, I think they don't want to destroy. Well, now I know a lot of people are saying, yes, they do, Tom, but they don't want to destroy America. I truly believe that in their minds, they're improving the country or making it better. I don't think anyone starts out thinking, let's destroy America. Now, there are a few probably that believe our whole system needs to be destroyed and we have to start over. But I don't think that's the majority of people.
with you to a point. I just have to say, because of I like you. I mean, again, I'm not an extremist, so there's things that I like on both sides, but I lean a little bit more left, but not to the point of Antifa and all of that.
Right.
But let me throw in the but. I going back. They've come out of the woodwork and talking about yes, we need some control for the border. I get that. There's got to be some way to fix it. I got all that. However, there's been more attacks on racism, on minorities in the last. Again, this is me from what I've observed, and I'm a minority. Anti-Semitism, Islamophobia it's like there was a permission to say now we can come out and say without repercussions.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. And by the way, one of my missions in life is helping Venezuelan families and immigrant families be adjusted and hardworking. And the ones I know are very hardworking, lovely, beautiful people. But truly, there are some criminal elements. But that goes with any group of people. And what I guess what I don't like heaping everyone ever into one big group. And that goes for everyone. That goes for homosexuals, transgender people. It goes for all kinds of people. I don't think there's any one group of people that we can throw into one bucket. And I don't like buckets. I think buckets are dangerous. But anyway, thank you very much. 303-713-8255. Yeah, buckets are dangerous. And you know, I know my YouTube morons joke a lot and say, you know, I tend to skew liberal. I don't. I swear to God I don't. But I certainly don't skew crazy either, one way or the other. I truly don't believe in redistribution of wealth at all. And when people, I can't stand when people say billionaires need to pay their fair share. I'm not a billionaire, but I truly, we have maybe 300 billionaires. I mean, truly, it would make not a difference, but I do believe they pay more than their fair share. And when you look at wealth, by the way, and how people don't put their money in a mattress, it's invested in the economy, and they create more wealth ever than they have. Every billionaire I know creates more wealth than they're worth, more wealth than they're worth. So I'm not trying to make a case here for billionaires. I don't care, but I'm just saying I tend to skew that way. But I do believe there are some parts of our society. I think some of the most evil billionaires in the world and the most evil institutions are big, giant colleges with their endowments. And I think if you want to tax billionaires, go start there. Start there. You notice they never mention that. Another thing, I think education and health, those are the two things that if I thought had to be more, and I'm using the word socialized, meaning more spread out, but not income and not outcome. Income and outcome is something that is self-generated and should never be controlled ever. I think, if anything, I'm a socialist for opportunity. Everything else is self-made. Sean, your turn. Then I got to take a break. Sean, go ahead.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to call. The one thing that really drives me nuts is why, if you support Trump, you're called an extremist. I mean, what is so extreme about wanting your country the way it was without it being invaded?
Well, I listen. Look at I think Trump is 90% showman. I think he grabs onto issues, and I think here's why they call him extreme. And I'm not calling him extreme because look at Kamala is just as extreme in other ways. I am saying that when he says things like, you know, they're letting them out of their insane asylums and criminal and prisons and this and that, he doesn't leave room or say there are many well-meaning, wonderful immigrants that we should help, but they need to do it this way. I only really hear him talking about the criminal element, and maybe that's what people mean, is that he tends to speak in those generalities like that, maybe. Look, we have a talk show host here. I love him, and he calls him the loony left. And again, I truly believe that there are loony lefts and there are radical rights and crazy people on both sides. But I think, or I'd like to believe, that a lot of them are well-meaning. I don't know. But Sean, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, what's more extreme than on day one of your presidency, you just open the borders up?
And not only that, you shut down every single new exploration, every single one of them for oil. I mean, day one, 150,000 jobs went out the window, and we became non-energy independent, and gas prices, what did they almost double? I mean, I get you. And that's what I mean. But why can't we all have that discussion and disagree without the hateful, vile feelings that we're having? Where people, I mean, do you know there have been freaking divorces and breakups over it? We got more coming up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
family split.
Yeah. What, really? Wow.
Oh, yeah. It's
sad, isn't it, though? I mean, come on. I don't know. I just don't know where it's going. I mean, you know, the argument will go on forever as who's doing more of that division, who's doing more of it. But one thing, here's one thing I want to say that no one can deny, no one. On both sides, these campaigns have been more about what's wrong with the other one than have been with what I want to do. Now, Trump skews more toward what I want to do. Okay, he does. If you truly look at this objectively, yes, he talks about how bad the opposition is, but he also talks about what he wants to do. Kamala Harris, mostly, her entire campaign is how evil Donald Trump is. We have more coming up.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
The Art of Granite will get you a price right now on your countertops, whether they're stone or man-made. They do more than granite. The name's The Art of Granite. As I said in the past, it should be the art of doing things correctly in the kitchen. They'll give you a price right now that tear out and haul away free. They do wholesale on all countertop materials, or free if you get it from their remnant yard. So if you need any kind of a project for a countertop, an island, a bar, even book nooks, theartofgranite.com will get you a price right now. 303-386-5919, 386-5919. Right now, open enrollment, get Integra Insurance on your side. They are insurance professionals that can get you health insurance at no additional cost. In fact, they save you money. They're the ones I use to help me with my supplements for Medicare. They can help you with Advantage. They can help you with any kind of health insurance. They sift through everything available to find the right plan for you. And they can help you find it with deductions and credits or straight pay on or off the exchange. 303-466-5500. 303-466-5500. IntegraInsurance.com. Home investors, do you know who they are? They're the ones that buy your homes. I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're going to give you the top dollar right now, but I will tell you this. They will give you a great offer that they will pay in a day or two. So if you want to sell your house, you don't want to go through the maintenance, the showings, the listings, and you just want to get out of Dodge, you can try them. Home investor, you have nothing to lose but one phone call. That time, that's it. 800-44-BUYER. 800-44-BUYER. Hey, Bob, who do you think? I have your mic off. Who do you think is more hateful? I think liberals are. I'm afraid. They always say, well, what happens if Trump loses? I'm more afraid what happens if Trump wins. The riots. A lot of people said the division started with Obama. You think so? With Obama. With Clinton, it wasn't. With Clinton, they went after him like a son of a bitch. But, with the Monica Lewinsky, but he gave him plenty of ammunition. Jesus, he gave him plenty of ammunition. I didn't dislike him that much, actually. I mean, as a president. When he was giving a speech one time where I talked to him. And he says, I've been giving a lot of encouragement to run for president. I think I made a good president. He goes, for example, you, Jimmy. He says, you gave me a bullying, whoever was in Jimmy's. What, you don't like my acting either? meaning you'd rather me leave the business? Funny. He had some very funny quotes. Oh yeah, okay. When he was shot.
10 seconds.
Okay.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So I was asking, as a consumer show and as a consumer advocate, honest to God, and as a marketer, I mean, that's what I do. I market for people I believe in, like my guests say, Plumline Services. I really do. Now, here's what I want to say. I wanted to know if politics make a difference in your choice of businesses, services, products. And does it really make a buying difference? And who do you think is meaner? A Republican or a Democrat or a progressive or a conservative? I really mean that. And this is important research. It really is. Now, I think anyone hateful, I would not want to do business with them. I also think that if I knew someone was hurting their children or cheating on their wives or of not good moral character, I'm not talking about politics at all, but something really down like that, I don't think I would want to do business with them either. It's just a personal thing. Or they treated their employees like crap. That kind of stuff, which isn't always knowable. Seinfeld did an episode one time that I found ingenious. You know, Seinfeld was pretty damn insightful. Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld, when they wrote these, remember the one about being gay? How do you know someone's gay? Well, they're always clean, they're always groomed. And then he says the symbol for gay shouldn't be this. And he did the limp wrist. He said instead it should be this. And he made the gesture of a vacuum cleaner because they're so clean. So he goes, and he like he's vacuuming. And it was funny, but it's true. People look for signs. People look for labels. And then the one that I thought was truly ingenious was the one where they took a topic like abortion and then played it to the nth degree. And I think the moral of the story of that episode about abortion was, if you don't know how people think, you treat them differently than how they think, than if you knew what they think. So in other words, they happen to be at certain places where the topic of abortion came up. And when someone expressed how they felt and Elaine disagreed with them, she would now hate them, whereas she loved them before. Specifically, she was at that Italian restaurant with that one guy that it was a recurring role on Seinfeld. And Jerry and then they were all at that restaurant and got talking about abortion somehow. And he heard them and said, how can you kill babies? They are Martinos. And he says, I love babies. And then she goes, what, are you kidding me? And then she starts arguing her thing. And then they end up walking out. What they were doing is truly saying that if people just shut up and believe what they believe, you might feel differently about them than if they express it. Not that it's wrong to express it, but it was just showing how politics divide. That was the bottom line. Back in the Star Trek days, they did an ingenious episode in Star Trek where people were half white and half black, and they were fighting each other. And they were fighting each other to the death, and they hated each other. And I watched this whole episode. Then at the end, he said, Kirk says, why do you people hate each other so much? And the one guy says, you didn't notice? And Kirk says, what do you mean? You're the same people. And the guy says, no, they're black on the left side, and we're black on the right side. They were half black and half white, split down the middle, literally white and black. It was, that was so what the writer was saying there is these differences are so stupid. I felt it was ingenious. But I want to say something else, because we were talking about politics and why did people believe you're radical if you believe in Trump and all that. And I looked up something that I remembered, and I just want to impart this real quick. Donald Trump was elected to office November 8th, 2016. And on January 20th, 2017, he was inaugurated, right? That was his very first day in office following the inauguration. What people don't understand, listen to this, is on January 21st, the next day, 2017, there was a 1 million woman march on Washington. I don't know if there's 1 million women, but it was the largest global movement of women participating in this march across the U.S. and in D.C., advocating for women's rights and social issues. I watched it. Did you watch it on the news? Do you remember that? Does anyone remember that? Okay.
I vaguely recall.
Now, here's what I recall. This is the day after Donald Trump took office. And the interviews were from women of all classes, all walks of life. And I remember the interviews with the women saying, we will not stand for the rights that we have lost. We will not stand by while our rights are pummeled. And then one woman says, I can't believe how oppressed we have become. Now listen, this was the day after he took office. There is not one thing he had done, not one thing he had done. And they were on Washington protesting him for taking away their rights. Now, you want to call that jumping the gun a little? Anyway, 303-713-8255. We got more coming right up.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
We're moving pretty smoothly across town. We got a few delays out here from earlier problems we had. Southbound I-25 at 104th. That crash cleared. Traffic a little heavy coming down from 120th. And westbound I-70, they've cleared out nicely now that accident on the ramp to 270 is cleared. In fact, the backups have kind of shifted. We're seeing a slowdown westbound 270 in between Quebec and York. Even that eastbound side busy coming down from I-25. Fortunately, we aren't dealing with any other big problems out across our roadways right now. As we take a look at your weather for the rest of today, partly cloudy skies, high up to 81. Right now we sit at 74 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Aaron O'Neill, 630 KHOW.
Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Red Rocks Roof and Solar. If you are looking for people to do solar, you want Red Rocks. Now, why do I say that? Well, first of all, Red Rocks knows the ins and outs of the entire solar industry, including getting them paid for, these systems, 100%. If you have a commercial operation through the REAP grant, if you qualify. They can also help homeowners with their tax credits and financing, and they have guaranteed activation dates. Let me just sum it up. If you want solar, you need Red Rocks Roof and Solar. RedRocksRS.com. 303-704-2449. Unfortunately, I'm getting a lot of people. Yeah, that's a good one.
Where'd it go? Did you leave it at KOA?
It's great from a new construction standpoint. When it comes to retrofit like we do, we had looked at some things because most of them are horizontal units. We had looked at what's called vertical. So basically, you're drilling at a 45-degree angle underneath the house, and the expense of the equipment and everything to do it. We just didn't. And the cost savings to the customer and everything, the math just didn't make sense. But geothermal is, yeah, oh yeah.
Many of these fine crafted treasures could not be duplicated. Most are handcrafted and one of a kind. Williams Jewelers antique and vintage jewelry trade show. 3 days on the 3rd, Friday and Saturday, October 17th.
I would.
It sounds so antique and vintage jewelry truck show.
Right. Yeah. There's when we were looking at it, there was a company out of Indianapolis that was doing quite a bit of it. I'm just not that familiar with it. search, you haven't found anything there. I mean,
God, did I hit a nerve here?
Yeah, thanks for waiting until I come on the show.
By the way, Plumb Line believes.
Denver's talk station. Online at out.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So, again, any problems, questions, or complaints, of course. Bob, you talked about refrigerants, and I want to go over this really quickly. Somebody wants to know, if the refrigerants are changed, what happens if yours runs low? How long do they keep the old refrigerants? Do they still have Freon? Do they still have, how many generations of coolants do we have?
There's several generations, and the older refrigerants will eventually be phased out. So,
but do we have Freon still?
So, well, I don't know.
I actually don't. No, okay.
So prior to R410, which is the current refrigerant, we had R22.
Right.
So, right around, 13, 14 years ago, they started phasing out R22 to go to 410. The refrigerant was still available, and we could service old equipment. But eventually, as supply got low, the cost of the refrigerant became exorbitant.
Okay.
And so...
So when you say the new refrigerant being required in January...
Yes, January 1.
You can still sell your older equipment?
I'm not sure exactly what it's going to look like, but yes, if there's equipment that's been manufactured, it's on the floor, we'll be allowed to sell it. And
why then will it be more expensive for the other one? Is it because the refrigerant or...
Yeah, the cost. I mean, the cost in any time there's a changeover like this, I'm just anticipating. I know what happened last time. I know what's going to happen this time, and January 1 anyway. Every year seems to be the time where all manufacturers boost their prices. So,
have furnaces other than efficiency have not changed so much as far as fuels? I mean, we have gas and we have the hybrids. You have a combination of gas and electric or gas and oil for back east, right?
Right.
Now, hybrids, do you sell them?
Like a
gas and electric?
Like a dual fuel?
Yeah.
Yes, like a heat pump.
Yeah.
Yes, so I've actually got that in my house. And so depending on the temperature outside and the usage, it'll switch over from a heat pump to a gas furnace.
Can you program it to do it more? Like if you had solar and wanted to use more electric?
Well, if you have solar, you're probably better off just going with a heat pump.
Yeah, totally. A lot of people are doing that. They're going with that hybrid system. So the bottom line is, whatever you have needs to match the fuel and the expense. Again, math. You have to decide. Like you said, gas is pretty inexpensive here.
In Colorado, yeah, our gas prices are
really
compared to the rest of the country. It's fairly inexpensive.
Okay, and I don't know what heating oil's doing back east, but that is the main fuel back east.
It primarily, and there's still a lot of wood as well, surprisingly.
Yeah, of course, and pellets and all of that. Yep. All right, and another thing, I was asking people about their buying decisions and if politics skew them. I have a lot of insightful, I believe, texts, okay? Now, listen to this one. All right, here's one right here. I agree with you when you said Trump tells people what he wants to do on day one in office, like get rid of the Constitution, prosecute all of his political enemies without cause, including the Fourth Estate, which is, of course, media. And he wants to take away women's reproductive rights in all 50 states, pretty much enforcing neo-fascist agenda. You know what? That is really, really, really exaggerated. Okay, really. I mean, okay, we might say both sides exaggerate. That is he has never said he wants to do away with the Constitution. He said as a joke he wanted to be a dictator on day one, only to do certain things, to shut the border down, blah, blah, blah. He never said he wants national abortion, ever. And he never said I just don't want it. That's just stupid, okay? This guy says, I think the beginning of division started with Obama and has gotten worse with each presidential election. As for which side is worse, I have to give that to the left, because if you don't believe exactly what they believe, they are very public and mean about it. You are called hateful, by the way. They use the word hate more than anyone, by the way. And I've said this before, one of the most hateful organizations I have ever encountered is the Center Against Digital Hate. Those people are supposed to go online and find digital hate, and they generate more digital hate than anyone I have ever seen. This one, let's see. At this stage, it's almost, okay, well, here it says, the division is a symptom. The disease is a separation of ideologies. We used to debate policy because our values largely aligned as a population. So division was less because the distance between left and right was less. Now we debate ideology, and that's a much wider chasm to cross, hence more division. A very divisive corporate news media doesn't help either. That's right, we do have a divisive media. That's how they keep you engaged. At this point, it's almost as blatant as capitalism, meritocracy, and traditional Western values versus Marxism and a myriad of faults, both culturally and fiscally. Very well. I mean, we got some. This guy says progressives are more hateful. For example, just take a look at The View. I don't know, that program, The View. Barack Obama was the initial great divider president. He divided races in order to help get elected. I don't remember him doing that, but okay. He divided by gender to get elected. He divided by income to get elected. He divided by morality as well. Wow, it's amazing how many people are texting about this. Trump did say many migrants were fine people. He said, basically, he said that first coming down the escalator. He said he's often said that there are good people who protest, good people who counter-protest. There are good people who are immigrants. He, by the way, and then he says the liberals said he was talking about white supremacists when he said there's some good people, and he didn't mean that. Anyway, so this guy basically says the media just never reports any of the good things he says, only the bad things. 303-713-8255. Hey, Shannon.
What's up?
Oh, bragging.
Now,
Those first
Impact
two,
Traffic.
if you could
This
do,
report is
Shannon
sponsored
should
by
have let you know.
Progressive
We have
Insurance.
tapes in the system
We're moving
for 'em.
pretty smoothly across.
I'd have to go hunting for
Well,
them.
I'm going to go do
Problems we had
Vestera, and then we'll
southbound
figure it out. If
I-25
not,
and
I'll just figure
104th.
it
That
out.
crash cleared traffic a little heavy coming down from 120th.
He really should
And
have
westbound
mentioned
I-70, they've cleared out nicely now that accident on
They're
the
in
ramp
the
to
system and they're
270 is
current.
cleared. In fact, the backups have
They're
seeing a
30s, two of
slowdown
them. I'll do
westbound
Vestera
270
first.
between Quebec and York. Even that eastbound side busy coming down from I-25. Fortunately, we aren't dealing with any other big problems out across our roadways right now. As we take a look at your weather for the rest of today, partly cloudy
you call D
skies,
on
high
that
up to
one?
81.
Okay.
Right
Do you
now
have
we sit
anything
at
to say about it?
74 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Aaron O'Neill, 630 KHOW.
Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Let's talk about Vestera Investments. We're talking about a way to be a landlord to invest in real estate without the headaches due to Vestera Turnkey. They have the system for buying and selling these rentals for you and managing them where you don't even take a phone call and doubling your money sometimes in 2 years. He's going to have a webinar to explain all of it. And I urge you to tune in from your home or office. MyBiggestReturn.com is where you can sign up. MyBiggestReturn.com. It's a place to get the information you need on Vestera Turnkey. You'll find out why people are flocking to it, making positive cash flow and selling to double their investment and doing it all over again. Vestera Turnkey is the name. MyBiggestReturn.com to sign up for the webinar. Let the 888. Okay. Okay, thank you. Yep. All right, we got him. Okay, now, we have very interesting. Damn, a lot of people are texting. I got to get some of this here going. What about there's the Star Trek episode. You looked it up. See how they're opposite? It was such a cool. Look. That's a white, black, white.
Fascinating.
Oh God, it's amazing what makes a impression on you.
My first daughter's middle name, Nichelle, is after the black lady on Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That was the first interracial kiss on American television.
It was?
Yeah, Kurt and her.
She and Kurt kissed.
Tom, the actor in that black and white Star Trek episode, went on to be the Riddler in the Batman.
Right. That's right. That's right.
I forget his name. I think
Gorsham.
I think he starred in some of the Green Hornet.
Wasn't it Fred Gorsham or Fred Gersham or
right.
something like that? I don't know. Gorse.
Starred in that Star Trek episode.
Yeah, I love trivia.
That was a great episode.
God, I love stuff like that. By the way, happy Indigenous Day.
days like this kill us because we can't get permits on anything.
You mean the government's closed today?
Oh, yeah.
What about the post office?
I am guessing the post office is.
Okay, I gotta know something. It's called Indigenous Day. It's called Indigenous Peoples Days. Post office closed on. Wait a minute, today is Columbus Day.
Right. They changed the name.
Oh shit! All the post offices are closed.
This poor guy. Yeah, they changed the name because Columbus was the racist and responsible for whatever.
I saw headlines over the weekend that he's
10 seconds.
Election of our lifetime and have sound of
Jewish descent.
congressional candidate Gabe Evans doing a tremendous job at the debate. Every Colorado candidate should watch it. Join me at 4.
Hi, Tom Martino here. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Whatever's on your mind, give us a call. We got Bob Logan with us from Plumline Services, by the way. And I just want to tell you, if you get a HVAC system replaced, you get the furnace free. You got to call them for details, 303-586-1086, or go to plumlineservices.com. Getting a crap load of text today and comments on whether or not people are influenced by politics when they buy. A lot of people are saying they do, they care, but it depends on how radical they are. They say if they don't know or people don't make a big point of it, they pretty much will patronize the business, use the product, service. But if they're really vocal on it, like Mike Lindell, MyPillow, or some crazy lefty, they will not shop with them. There are some people say they will never watch another De Niro movie again. Others say they have stopped listening to Taylor Swift. I don't really know if I'd go that far, but I do know that if people are hateful, now that's different than just being politically in disagreement with me. I don't care about that. But if people do things to harm people or they're just not good people, I think that would affect me more than anything. And again, that would be my judgment. But I mean, I think it's pretty clear what we mean by that. All right, I want to go to Deputy D, who, what happened was here, this woman, or Glenn, I mean, he said that he went to a Pep Boys on South Parker Road, 1390 South Parker Road, and the service manager, Annetko Richardson, Nico or whatever, told him he had bad brakes and needed $900 in repairs. Now, we're running out of time. Do I hear the music? I thought I heard it, but anyway, we're going to have to come back to this. We're going to let you know what happened. Why is the return so low? Okay, maybe that's me.
Too low, it's too high.
Is it? No, I'm sorry.
You yell at me when it's too high.
Never mind. Thank you. Sorry.
I didn't touch anything.
Yeah, shut up. Damn it. All right. God almighty, this show is just getting away. It's so fast, and I usually...
I'm surprised it's been 3 hours already.
You know, here's the deal. Usually Mondays are jammed with calls. So I've tracked my last few. I have full lines on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and 3/4 on Friday. So the weakest day is usually Wednesday. But today is just, there's no rhyme. Today's the holiday.
Yeah, they're all celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day.
I don't know if they're celebrating or just their schedules are off, maybe. I don't know.
Do they still have a parade downtown? Are they having a parade?
Oh, Columbus Day
don't have
Parade?
that
No, they would get...
You can't have that parade anymore.
Kidding me? They would
And by the
murdered.
way, there was DNA done on his gravesite.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about it?
Yep.
He's an Spartic Jew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just read that over the weekend.
Come on, that's good news. So now more anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
For exploiting the Indians.
Yeah, now he's going to be even more politically incorrect.
I don't know how you do a DNA test that far back, but now, can we do a DNA test on the shroud of, what is it, the shroud of?
Turin.
Jesus Christ.
Shroud of Turin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you need DNA to compare it to.
Mine.
Oh, shit.
See if we're related.
See if we're related, is that what you said?
When you pull off 3 miracles, then we'll start taking your blood samples.
You could be his half brother.
What?
You could be his half brother down, or half relative down Mary's line.
See if you can heal your BMW.
Yeah, God.
With a touch of your hand.
I gotta
and
think
then
where
we'll start.
where was I? Like, okay,
It's impossible.
the night before,
Mhm.
that was Thursday afternoon. I noticed it. The first time I noticed it. So I hadn't looked at the front of my car, which meant I must have parked nose in. I went to the Cheesecake Factory at Park Meadows and parked nose in. But when you're nose in, it's hard for someone to hit you. So I wouldn't have noticed, though, when I got in my car. I went home that night. And then I parked in the garage. I wouldn't have noticed. I went out with the kids that night, Cheesecake Factory. So then I'm trying to think where I went Thursday. I think I went straight to the gym because I came here. I can't think of anywhere Thursday I would have gone before the gym. I didn't. So it had to have been at Park Meadows somehow. Jeez. It's so rude to hit people like that and not leave a note.
That's the norm. That's the new norm
I
now.
backed into someone once, left a note, and even found the body shop and arranged for a rental. I did it all for them.
Yeah.
They were like amazed, but I was, what the hell am I going to do? Not do it? You know, you have no choice.
Right.
But it's like, it's almost like built in, right? Because we grew up that way, right?
Oh, yeah.
But like, the thought of not telling that person never even.
Oh, look how common hit and runs are now. They're more common than the other
I
kind.
person once before, like that was parked and got out and looked, and there was, I mean, there wasn't even a pencil mark, and I thought, oh, I'm not going to open up this can of worms, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
Then I remember one time. This is what I stopped doing it, but I used to, we would have a yield going here, right? It would be. So I would go like this, and then look this way, and then look. That car starts taking off. So I look this way and start going, and that person didn't take off. They just looked like they were taking. So I was in a yield. So, but because I always last look there and then go forward, and they were right there. They had moved. They took their brake lights off, so I thought they were already gone, and so I hit this woman. I swear to God, it couldn't have been 10 miles an hour, 5 miles. And so I said, oh man, you're over here, I'm going to take care of it. And so the estimate was $1,200. It was a freaking script, but I got the estimate. I didn't care. Her husband calls me and says, you know, she's been having some neck pain.
Oh, God.
Now listen, I knew he figured out
Who you are. Yeah.
and says, so we really want to, before we see an attorney, we wanted to talk to you.
Oh, what a scumbag.
He wanted $2,000.
That's it?
For nothing.
For nothing, but
I mean,
at least he
they
made it
knew
reasonable
That's-
enough.
There's no way.
That's
There's
not a
no
lot
way
to
they would
ask.
have won in court, but it
Oh,
would
yeah.
cost me $2,000 just to consult an attorney.
Oh, just the meeting would. Yeah.
So I remember that though, and I remember I knew he knew who he's talking. I knew it because it's Tom Martino. I'm so and so's wife, and I could tell, husband, and I could tell. Okay, here comes the shakedown.
Wow. Kind of an unimpressive shakedown, though.
Yeah, if you're going to shake somebody down,
$2,000.
shake them down.
1 minute. What do you need?
I'm the only person you'll ever meet that goes to the bathroom more than Tom.
No, you don't. You definitely, I'll guarantee you don't. Okay, I'm not that bad during the day, not terrible. I'm terrible but at night, it's just terrible. And you know what? I thought I was I thought I was worse than others, okay? So I'm watching The Golden Bachelor. And they're all living together in the bachelor house. No, my wife got me roped into it. Oh, God. It's such a terrible show. Terrible. You never watched it. No. This is The Golden Bachelorette, where it's one woman and then these guys are mine. So they're all talking about taking their bunks and getting rid of them. Get up 5 or 6 times a night.
What? Wait, they put them in bunk beds?
Well, in this one case, they had a bunk, and then in a few cases. But anyway, it's a beautiful house, by the way. I saw the house, the real house, when I was out in Malibu.
10
Holy
seconds.
shit, is it beautiful.
Win. That's win.
Enter it now
At khow.com. Inflation salvation on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So we've had a number of discussions today, and I want to follow up on some of them. First of all, I have Plumline Services with me. Bob Logan is with me. I've known him for years and years, and he didn't have any gray hair when I knew him at first, never. Anyway, you can be part of the festivities by giving a call, 303-MARTINO, and you can even leave a message after hours. We'll get back to you. Bob has an offer that if you are replacing your HVAC system, you get the furnace free. Somebody wanted to know about that. So what are the details? Let's get down to the nasty nitty-gritty. So you hike up the price so you can take off the furnace. No, I'm just kidding.
That's exactly right.
No, I know. I absolutely know that's not true. No, really, it's wonderful that you don't do that. But how does it work? Tell us the details.
So we match the furnace to the air conditioning system that you buy. Again, just like an automobile, you can buy a budget, simple system, or there's really high-end luxury systems and a lot in between. And so whatever air conditioner you buy and the furnace will match, we'll give you the free furnace. Now, you will pay for the labor to install it. So on both sides, you pay for the labor, but the equipment itself, which is typically up to around $2,500.
All right. Now, that is plumlineservices.com. And I want to mention a few other things. We had a call about the Pep Boys. So this is right before the break. Okay, so 1390 South Park Road. The service manager recommended a brake job for $900, said you got bad brakes. 2 subsequent mechanics told Glenn that his brakes were fine. He's got everything in writing, including the Pep Boys proposal and the other 2 saying he doesn't need brakes. I asked Deputy D to make a phone call. He was upset about it. I don't blame him. Now, he didn't spend the money. He did the smart thing. He got another opinion when he felt, that was a little, I don't know if he thought it was hasty or it was too expensive or whatever. But he wasn't having any symptoms. He had gone into Pep Boys for a oil change. So, Deputy D, what did you find?
Tom, I spoke with Mr. Richardson. He's the service manager over at that particular Pep Boys, and he remembers the consumer very well, and he looked up the work order. The car went in for an oil change on the 6th of August, and the consumer is quoted on that work order as having said, "I'm not sure what brakes service I need." As a result, Pep Boys provided a courtesy inspection of his brakes. The company's policy, it's important to note, is to recommend new brake pads when existing brake pads reach 430 seconds of friction material left on them. So Pep Boys does not have a record of what they measured out his pads at.
Yeah, but pads
However,
wouldn't be $900.
Well, it's more than pads. What they recommended on that work order is front brake pads.
Wait. Did the service manager recall any offers on that?
Oh, yeah. He looked up the work order.
Oh, so
in his
he
computer.
did admit it.
Yeah, he admitted. Yeah, it's factually correct. Everything the consumer told us is factually correct.
So what did Pep Boys recommend?
So they recommended 3 line items: front brake pads and front rotors, rear brake pads, and a brake fluid flush, for a total of approximately $900, which frankly sounds reasonable to me.
Well, if you did all of that, but the 2 mechanics said he didn't need any of it. So
Well-
that's what I meant. So what did they say about not needing it? They're sticking by their word that he does need it?
Yeah, they stand by their diagnosis.
Oh, they really do?
Yeah, but
I want this guy to get a third one, and I swear to you,
Okay.
if they're sticking by this and it turns out to be a lie, I want to destroy him.
Well,
Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, the reason, like the only way to make it into a lie is if the consumer's brake pads did not measure at 430 seconds or less.
No,
right?
that's not. That's not. He said he needed way more than brake pads.
The Pep Boys said that he
Yes.
needs more than brake pads.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all we have to do is get another mechanic like Kevin Calkin
Oh,
at
sure.
Sheridan Autotech to say he doesn't need all of that stuff. It's not difficult. First of all, measuring the brake pads is one part of it. For him to discern that he needed what? Brake discs?
In the front, he needed rotors, discs.
Come on, man. How did he discern that?
Well, in my experience, you visually inspect the discs. You look for a lip forming on the outside perimeter.
Yeah.
You also look for scoring.
Yeah.
You also
so
look
why
for
would
signs
2
of heat
mechanics
damage.
tell him he does it? Or is this guy lying about the other 2 mechanics? Here's what I want to do. I want to ask Glenn if he would take it to one of our people. I don't know where he was calling from, but he could probably take it over to, if it was South Parker Road, take it over to Kimmer Transmission, just have him look at it. I really want to know, because so what they said was they stand by their diagnosis.
Yes.
For $900 in brake work.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that's discs, and that's or rotors, that's pads. What else?
Fluid flush was the 3rd line item. Brake fluid flush.
Okay. Somebody told me you never need a brake fluid flush. You just keep. Why would you have to flush brake fluid?
Well, I have an electronic device that I purchased, and you dip it into the brake fluid, and it tells you what the what percentage of moisture is in it.
Okay.
So
Well, I guess if you've never had it serviced.
Yeah, it absorbs moisture from the air. And so once you get to a certain percentage, it needs to be flushed out.
Okay. So I want to know, is this guy driving around? Because they said his brakes were bad and they needed to be replaced.
They didn't use the word bad.
What did they
He
use?
explained the policy, which is if they measure 430 seconds or less of friction material, their policy is to recommend replacement of the pads.
And then I'm going to say this again. What's the policy for recommending the other stuff? I mean, did he mention what he does to recommend discs?
Yes. No, not discs.
Rotors?
He did mention the fluid replacement recommendation. He said that that's an automatic recommendation when
you do brakes?
Yes.
Okay. But $900, does that sound... I want to... Can we get Sheridan on? I want to ask him about the $900 for that. Although I don't control pricing in any organization, including people on my referral list, I'd still like to get Kevin Calkin's idea of this. And then I'd like to know, how do they come to the conclusion he needs new rotors? So 2 new rotors in the front, pads all the way around, and a flush, $900. Why do you say that's reasonable, D?
Oh, well, look, I mean, mechanics charge, what, $150 an hour nowadays, and this is probably a 3-hour job.
I
Go ahead.
just had mine replaced, my brakes and pads, and I was just trying to find my quote. I guarantee it was more than $900.
What kind of car, though?
It's a Rolls Royce.
No, but I mean,
No, it's
no.
a Lincoln Navigator.
Okay.
But I didn't. Yeah, I think it was like $1,400.
Wow. Did you get a second opinion?
No.
Okay.
I trust my mechanic.
All right. Well, that's different. Anyway, Okay, by the way, we also were talking about buying decisions and if they would be influenced by politics or by political ideology. And I have not heard anyone say yet that it doesn't influence them. Now, obviously, it's skewed. Now I've had probably an equal number, though, say if they were staunch conservatives, I'd avoid them. The others said if they were progressive, I'd do it. So it's not one or the other. Now, somebody says you need to check your brake fluid because it does have, okay, that's exactly what this person, moisture, and that will affect calipers. So that's what you were saying, D. And one of my texters said, yes, that is a very important component. And then someone else said here, I remember why oh, never mind. That's nothing to do with this car thing. Okay, hold on. Tom, in Virginia, to pass state inspection, minimum brake pads is 230 seconds. Colorado doesn't have these inspections. So what did they say their recommendation is?
430 seconds or less.
Okay, all right. And then somebody else said, at 125,000 miles on my Ford Ranger, I flushed the fluid 3 times. Calipers are in good shape and original. I do it myself. Yeah, but obviously, I just don't know. To me, 430 seconds is an empty pad. What does that mean?
It's an eighth of an inch.
Oh, okay. And then what I don't understand is the 900. Maybe that's a reasonable price. As Bob said, did you get rotors all the way around though, Bob, or did you get four-wheel discs, or you don't have drums? They don't make drums anymore, do they?
Not on a car like Bob's.
Yeah. Bob,
it's not that great of a
Did
car.
you have all 4?
Actually, it is.
Did you have rotors done too? Do you remember?
I was trying to look at my, because I had a whole bunch of other stuff.
I want to see the
I had
receipt.
a whole bunch of other stuff.
And I want to get Kevin on because I want to ask about it. About that. 303-713-TALK, 713. I can't believe the amount of texts I'm getting here about everything that I'm talking about. For some reason, people are texting rather than calling. One says, how sadly hypocritical Harris and the liberals call Trump evil. Trump may be a jerk, but Harris and the Democrats support, even celebrate at rallies, the killing of 80,000 unborn innocent babies every year. No evil there. And then somebody else said, Trump did say many migrants are fine people. Yes, I heard that. And then someone said that how many people have tried to shoot Harris? None. And they don't encourage it either. I don't believe the Democrats encouraged the shooting of Trump or the attempting, but they certainly did say, and I'll say this straight up, they said he is evil, he's a danger to democracy, and they've even said he'll pull down the country. I mean, there might be people thinking they're doing their political duty by going after him. We got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show.
What's the best place to reach new customers for your business? Wherever they are. And that's exactly where you can be with iHeartMedia. We talk to our listeners everywhere, from the car to the gym to the kitchen. Your next customer is listening. And not only can we get your message to your audience, we can also show you how it's working in real time. That goes for broad brand messaging and targeted hyperlocal influencer campaigns alike. Start growing your business today by calling 844-GET-MY-AD. That's 844-GET-MY-AD.
John Fuller is a personal injury attorney that I hope you never need. But I'll tell you this. If you are injured in an accident, you should call him immediately, if nothing more than to just shoot the breeze with him on it. He'll tell you all of the important steps to take, or if you have a case worth going after and where you would collect. He does this as a public service free of charge, and he hopes, of course, to be your attorney. If you decide to hire him, there's no obligation. If you do, you'll get his cell phone number that you can call or text at any time. But keep this in mind. He's the only attorney that takes your calls personally before you hire him and after you hire him. 303-597-4500. Look up John Fuller in Denver, personal injury attorney John Fuller, 303-597-4500. theartofgranite.com. You can get a price right now on the phone, theartofgranite.com. Get your price for any countertop, kitchen island, book nook, counter, whatever you need, bar. They can do it, and they give you prices on the phone no matter what material. They do all man-made material. They do all stone material, natural stone. 303-386-5919. Wholesale on all materials, always for counters. 303-386-5919.
Gotcha. What's your name?
No, we're not on. No. These mics are pretty good.
C-A-R-R-Y. Barry. B-E-R.
Actually, that's what it sounds like.
Sherry?
That's amazing.
Tom will be right with you, okay? Hold on.
Sherry? Terry? Barry?
These fucking phones
Gary?
suck, dude. It's like trying to listen through a funnel. Then when you add on people's
So if you change your brake pads on a normal rotation,
yeah,
should you ever have to replace the rotors?
Nope. Nope.
Not unless
Rotors are softer. We'll never wear it. But rotors, okay, road grime and stuff can get to a rotor. Okay, where they need to be turned to make them smooth. Because, yeah, so I amend that. But that is easily remedied by cleaning, every now and then cleaning your brakes. And but, okay, so road grime could cause friction beyond the pad. And there's a little bit of metal in some of the pads, so that could. But being turned, they can be turned several times before they need to be replaced, right?
Yes, but the one thing to be careful is you're not using OEM brake pads. You might end up with brake pads that weren't hardness matched to the hardness of the rotor material, and they'll cause excessive wear of the rotor itself. Whereas the system, the OEM system in its entirety, is designed for the pads to wear out and not the rotor.
But aren't most pads, though, if anything, weaker than that?
That's how they're supposed to be. But some non-OEM pads
are harder?
They're hard enough to wear out more metal than an OEM pad would. So that's another reason that I only buy OEM.
Yeah, the reason I ask is, so I take my Lincoln to Landmark Lincoln, and they're always great, but
yeah, they are. Never a complaint.
I mean, they're
never
everything's fantastic.
What's that guy's name
but
there?
Last time I got my oil changed, they said, your brake pads are getting close. We can do them, but you're fine if you want to wait until the next time. Like, let's just wait till the next time.
Navigator.
And then when I brought it in,
it's the only car in the
said,
world
well,
that
you
takes
need brakes and rotors.
Oh, they recommend rotors too?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Don't you take up 2 zip codes when you drive that?
No, I got the short version.
How many miles?
There is no short version.
Yeah, there's a short and a long. It's not like the Yukon XL. The Yukon XL is 18 inches longer.
Jeez.
The Navigator, which is the L, is only 9 inches longer. I got the short one, so it's comparable to like a Tahoe. And I love it. I'll buy another one when I.
How many miles did it have on it when you had the brakes done?
107.
They're really nice
I had it done
vehicles.
like 2 weeks
Are they
ago.
really nice vehicles?
I love it.
Oh,
One of
yeah.
the best vehicles I've ever owned.
What do they top out at?
What do you mean as far as price? Oh, I think new, 120 probably.
Oh, come on!
For a
Jesus
Ford,
Christ!
110, 100. I buy all my cars used.
My X7 was 112, and that was like at the height of the
10
pandemic.
seconds, guys.
My guess is
Fiduciary Advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right, so Larry, you got a comment on the new refrigeration AC stuff. Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, can you hear me okay, Tom?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have two older vehicles that use the R12 refrigerant.
Yes.
And which is a lower compression refrigerant. I've had a couple of, they have leaked out all the refrigerant years ago, and so they're not even operable. But I've had a couple of estimates on converting to the newer refrigerant, which operates at a higher pressure. And so they have to replace the compressor and certain components of the refrigerant or the air conditioning system. Okay, is it possible to get the older compressors rebuilt? Use the R12 refrigerant?
You know what? It's a totally different compression ratio. My gut is telling me that would be more trouble than it's worth. You can replace, I believe, the compressor, but I'm not sure what your system is made. Bob, do you have someone at the office we could call?
Well, he's talking about vehicles.
No, wait. Are you talking about vehicles?
Yes.
Okay, let's ask someone.
Tom,
hey,
I could answer the question.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Bo.
So, Larry, if you want to change the newer refrigerant, you're going to have to change the compressor, of course, and I think you're going to have to change the expansion valve in the coil because it is higher pressure. Now, if you have a classic car, you can still buy the old R12 refrigerant. And if you want to keep your car original, if it's a show car, you might want to consider keeping it. What is your...
The two vehicles I have are, one is a 91 and one of them is an 86. Both use the R12. And I just happen to have 12 pint cans of R12 that I could use. So I'm wondering about getting the compressors rebuilt or replaced.
There is a place where you can send your R12 compressor in and get them rebuilt. I believe they sell them on exchange. I'd have to look it up, but there is a place that does that, and I would keep it. I would keep it on your old refrigerant because the auto parts store, I believe, sell a substitute for R12. But you don't have to change any of the components. I think it's called Hot Shot.
Okay, well, I have a lot of the R12 on hand that I've had for years and years.
That's good. R12's worth its weight in gold.
I know it. I was told that it's probably close to $100 a can. And I have 12 cans of it.
Jeez.
Probably more.
Probably.
There is a place where you can exchange your compressor. If you want to leave your number, I can look it up. And
now you were talking about vehicles, right, Bo?
This is automobile R12 is automobile refrigerant.
Okay, because I know you've been in. I've
been in the trade a little bit.
Right. Okay.
Okay, and I also have a comment about the political atmosphere nowadays.
Oh, I want to know. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I find that years ago, most people were fairly passive about their political opinions. And then more recently, more like when Obama took over, the liberals became passive-aggressive toward the beginning of his presidency. And then toward the end, they were very aggressive. And now they have become hateful. Republicans are still, conservatives are still kind of passive aggressive, or even mostly passive. They only react to anger or hate from the liberals.
You know what? I have actually, Larry, at the risk of being unpopular here, I agree with you. I think a lot of the conservatives just want to be left the frick alone, and they want to just believe what they believe. And I know there are going to be people saying, oh, no, they push their beliefs on everyone. Now, I will say some of the religious ones do. I will say, though, politically, they just want to be accepted and listened to. And I do believe they react. You're right. That's the impression I get. I just can't believe the attacks that a lot of progressive or liberal people take, especially the more left they are. And I guess, again, people are going to say, well, Tom, they're radical right. They're crazy people. And then they always bring up January 6th. And I will say this, okay? That January 6th thing, I don't know what happened. I swear to God, I don't think that people were trying to take over the country. I think they were idiots, and they just got into this crowd mentality thing. But I truly don't believe they were trying to take over the country. And it's amazing how they're so quick to call that an insurrection. Yet we had so many people during Black Lives Matter and similar kind of protests with Antifa who have taken over government buildings all over the country and occupied city blocks and were never, ever, ever called insurgents. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing how bad guys on one side are worse than bad guys on the other, depending on what side you're on. We got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show, 303-713-8255.
This is Denver's Talk Station.
Kachina.
With Tom Martino now. Michael Brown.
Yeah.
6.
Who's that good-looking tech? That guy's always saying he's the best-looking tech in Colorado Springs. He's a really smart guy.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Up on the northwest end through the Broomfield.
She's thinking.
He's one of our mechanics down there. Used to be Gearhead. That's what we called him.
We're seeing about 10 to 20 minutes of delays for our Broomfield drivers heading to the Boulder area. Otherwise, smooth drive.
Mile High something.
I-25 north and southbound showing highway speed through town.
Damn it, I don't remember. He's in the Springs.
To DIA and back.
She's looking it up.
Superior, maybe?
Aurora and the Tech Center.
I don't
Fox 31, pinpoint weather, mostly sunny skies. Another warm one today with a high of 81 degrees. Overnight low of 47. Cooling down tomorrow with a high of 72. The current temperature in Denver is 78 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
With Progressive Insurance, you can make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phone's
Master Tech.
electronic device insurance, and cover your furry friends with pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Okay. Genesis Total Exteriors.com. Genesis. The place that you call for roofing, gutters, soffits, fascia, siding, windows, doors, decks, painting, fences, everything on the outside of your house. They can do it, including your storm damage. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. And now they're also doing mold detection and mitigation the honest way. Don't forget their Align siding, which is a lifetime siding that you can substitute for that old ugly vinyl. Call Genesis today, 303-679-8509. Now, I'd tell you to call John Fuller today, but that's only if you've had an accident. John Fuller, if you look him up as a personal injury attorney in Denver, you'll see he has many great ratings, and John has helped many people. In fact, over the weekend, I got called from another friend who needed John Fuller, and she said, I couldn't believe he answered the phone on a Sunday. Yes, he did. And he'll answer his phone almost any time. You can talk to him. And you ask him questions before you hire him. You don't even have to hire him. He'll give you free information. And then, of course, represent you if you want him to on a percentage fee basis. And you'll get his cell phone where you can call or text at any time. Fuller Law, 303-597-4500, 597-4500. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm wrong. It's Griffin.
There you go.
Action Automotive
There you go.
Services. Also in the spring.
$5 says Tommy listening.
Subaru rotors are $150 each.
But found it.
Times 2 would be 300. Pads are $60. So front and back
Hey,
each.
Tom?
That's 120. So that's 300, 420. Plus $10 worth of brake fluid and a little labor. That would be almost $500 too much in his opinion.
Wait, that's the cost of the parts, or is that
Hey, Tom?
Well, yeah, that's the parts. So 150
so about
each
50% parts, 50%
would be
labor?
300, 420, 420,
Oh, good.
440 in parts.
540 in parts?
My God.
440.
440? And I mean, that sounds reasonable.
He said that's 500 in labor. I don't know. 500 in labor? That's a lot. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Do you think 500 labor for 3 hours is high?
Well, was it 3 hours to do that?
That's my estimate. I didn't discuss. I don't know. The auto experts will be able to weigh in on this. Yeah, I know. How many hours? It would take me.
I was gonna leave, so I sat here to answer that air conditioning question. So I cleaned up Doc's space. He left a pigsty. Coke, yeah.
Last time I did my own
apologize.
brakes,
That's
I
mine.
rear-ended a car because I didn't bleed them properly, so I stopped doing my brakes.
Yeah, we all learned that lesson the hard way.
I cleaned up Doc's
Just
space.
the degree of hardness.
It went straight to the floor, and I'm pumping that bad boy. Thankfully, I wasn't going that fast. So.
Leaving, and I wanted to answer that AC.
10 seconds there, Tommy.
Open your free iHeart app and search Stuff to Blow Your Mind to start listening.
Need a new roof? Call Excel Roofing 303-761-6400.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, so Dean, you have a comment on refrigerant. Now, is that for domestic AC or cars?
Well, the principle of both of them is the same thing. The R12 or R134, whatever it is, you want to call it Freon. Freon is just a trade name. That was made by DuPont.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. The New Gen was made by General Electric. They all have their trade names. So you got the Freon. You associate that with DuPont. Okay.
Okay.
Now, and that was R22.
Okay.
And, I worked around this stuff for quite a while, and one guy, and I knew this was going to come up. The guy called in and wants to convert this R12 or try to rebuild this thing. And then I think your guest, Bob,
yes,
he was talking these different refrigerants. That's called a drop-in. Is that correct, Bob?
Okay.
Is he still there?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was Bo that was talking about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, the street term would be a drop-in, okay? And these companies make this drop-in to try to work around these new EPA guidelines, okay? So and the older refrigerants, R12 is out there. It's very expensive. Trying to use it, and it's very good at what it does. They used to they could get, and I worked on cryogenics. You know what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
It's freezing stuff.
Yeah, it's freezing stuff. It's at a level that you don't see. You only see it in industrial stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. And anyway, so to get down to those levels, you're talking 150 below zero or so. And the refrigerants that we use or that you can get normally You just can't go buy that stuff. You have to have it made. Okay. But anyway, that's getting too technical. Back to this drop-in.
Yeah.
This stuff, as the EPA keeps trying to crunch down, people have this equipment, and they get a leak, for example, and then Bob goes out and says, Bob's guy says, you got a leak here. It's a R22 system. It's going to cost you a lot to fix it. You might as well just switch it on over to 410A.
Right.
Would you agree, Bob?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. And here's the deal. These drop-ins, and there was a company that did a lot of this called Blue On. Have you ever heard of them, Bob?
I have. They came and talked to me at one point.
Okay. Did you do any business?
What do they do,
we
Dean?
did not.
Dean, what do they do?
They're drop-ins. They manufacture
okay.
drop-in refrigerant.
All right.
Okay. Now, Bob, you've also heard of Haynes Train, probably.
Yes.
Okay. There was a federal lawsuit between Blue On and Haynes Train, and Haynes Train is a big mechanical operation. I've been retired for about 6-7 years out of this, and a couple guys that I'd worked with, and Haynes Train did the same stuff that we did, big commercial industrial.
Right.
One of the guys that I had worked with went to work for Haynes Train.
So tell us about, get back to the home units and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's why I just know quite a bit about this.
Yeah.
Vestas, you've heard of Vestas?
Yes.
Vestas had 100 rooftops that they wanted. Then Vestas wants to go green. They want to get rid of the R22, but they don't want to buy a bunch of new equipment. So they switch over, and Blue On says, we've got just the stuff for you. It's friendly, da-da-da. And Bob, this is their facility in Pueblo, Colorado.
Yeah, but tell us how this affects homeowners and stuff, and make it relevant to them.
How it affects homeowners is because just like that guy called in wanting to buy, or your guy had suggested use Hot Shot, okay, as a drop-in.
Yes.
Okay, that's how the residential guys are going to try to work around this because it's too expensive to buy real R22. You can still get it, but the taxes on it is why it's so expensive, and they quit manufacturing it.
Okay.
And so the guy said he's got all this R12. That's great, but it doesn't do him any good anymore because it's just outdated. It's like an old computer, and the newer stuff, it gets its ability to do what it does.
And so Dean, I love all of this information, but where are we going with it? How do we make this practical for the homeowner?
To stay away from the drop-ins.
Okay.
Okay. And if you want to check out $1 million lawsuit, look at Haynes Train versus Blue.
So
On.
you're saying a drop-in does not work, basically.
The ones everyone that I've fooled with and had been around, and I work for a big company, and we work with that big 100-ton.
Yeah, and you're saying they don't work. That's the short answer. They don't work.
Yeah, and I just the most classic perfect cases though is the Vestas trying to change over 100 rooftops, and every one of them got screwed up.
Hey, by the way, I want to ask you something. Is that the same Vestas that makes the windmills?
That's it. That's one of their plants.
Wow. Okay, listen, Dean, thank you for the education. But bottom line, he's saying it doesn't work. Just switch to the new system, right, Bob?
Yeah, don't try to fight progression. It went from R22 to R410. Now it's going from R410 to R32, and you can if the refrigerant is available to maintain it, that's fine.
But if it's not, it gets cost prohibitive.
Once it gets to that point, like right now, anybody who has an R22 unit needs to upgrade it. And same thing, 410 will be the same here in a few years, where it just does not make sense to maintain it anymore.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Up on the north end of town, I-25 northbound, police activity blocking 2 left lanes between Highway 36 and 84th Avenue, seeing about 10 minutes of delays there. South of there, I-225 northbound, a crash at I-70, a stop and go back from 6th Avenue through Aurora. Otherwise, a clean drive throughout the Denver Metro. I-25 southbound showing highway speeds through town. I-70 east and westbound flowing free from the foothills to DIA and back again. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, sunny skies today with a high of 81 this afternoon, overnight low of 47, cooling down tomorrow with a high of 72. The current temperature in Denver is 80 degrees with your impact traffic and weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHEL.
Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Discount bath, 2 words you don't normally hear because baths are usually expensive, but discount baths have found a way to get you the great baths at low prices. I want you to put them to the test. Right now, if you go to their website, discountbath.com, you can fill out some basic information. They're not going to sell it or get rid of, distribute it, but it's so they can send you a link that you can upload video. You upload video of the hall room bath you want to change or the master bath or maybe the rough-in area down in the basement you want to put a bath, and they'll send you a price, and it's pretty damn close. I like it. It's all done remotely. You don't have to visit if you don't want to. Of course, you can always visit if you do want to. Discount Bath can also do shower conversions at $9,888 for a beautiful acrylic shower conversion. 720-979-2322, discountbath.com. Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies will help you plan for retirement. The younger, the better. If you're 30, they talk about nest eggs, keeping them safe, growing them, and then turning them into income. If you're older, they want to shore up your plan faster. Whatever it is, whatever stage of life you're in, they'd be happy to talk to you. Retirement is something that has many, many elements. It's not just investing. It's many elements that they can help you with. They can look at what you have and see where you need help and where you don't need help. And they talk about long-term care and estate planning as well. rpcenter.com. And they invite you to call at any time to ask questions. rpcenter.com. 970-663-3211. Free of charge, no obligation. 970-663-3211.
Yes.
When your technicians remove R12 from systems that are going to be scrapped, is there a huge resale value to that gas?
No.
Because it's contaminated?
Yeah, I don't even know if you could. I mean, we have to, because of EPA guidelines, we have to reclaim everything, where most of our competitors just cut the lines. They don't have to deal with it.
I see that all the time.
Most of them do, and they're removing
What does that mean, cut the lines?
They cut the lines so all the refrigerant goes
vent,
out.
To vent into the atmosphere.
So that they don't have to reclaim it.
I know a place that does that every day. And
You mean that's against the law, isn't it?
Yeah, big time against the law.
Yeah. But I guarantee you, over 50% of our competitors do it, rather than reclaiming it the way they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've seen it. There's a big place north.
I'd like to
Broadway.
catch him.
Oh, I can get you video of it. They do this all day.
Wait.
long.
Hold on. Don't they do it at people's houses? What do you mean they do it? Yeah. And they're supposed to reclaim it. Get me some silk. Get me some video of that. Do you know what that fine would be?
It's over $30,000 a day. I looked it up. In EPA.
Why didn't you report it?
I just started whether or not the EPA actually pays that $10,000. Are you familiar with this? They offer a $10,000 bounty for cleanout release. But they don't have it. So
10 seconds.
Trump, will there be an October surprise to shake up the race? We'll tackle it all at 2 on 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Appreciate you being here, and very active show. Bob Logan has been with me. We've been talking about all of the new stuff going on in technology with the HVAC, refrigerants, and some of this stuff, it's going to pay to change out anyway because of efficiencies and because of new refrigerants and basically pricing, because prices are not going down. If you're limping along on a system and needs major repairs, I really suggest you look into replacing right now with Plumline. You go and get a system done, and you get the furnace free, and they'll give you all the details. So give them a call, 303-586-1086, plumlineservices.com. I can't keep up with the texts that are coming into both my private Google cell, 747-999-5280, and my iHeart 57739 on the political atmosphere and how it's affecting buying decisions. Now, if you recall, I'm not trying to tell people how to vote, when to vote, where to vote, what to vote for. I don't care what your ideology is. We help everyone. But it is amazing to me how I from these texts, I have a blended audience, which I like. I think that's great. But, man, it's amazing how many people say if they find out you're radical one way or the other, that it's going to affect what they do. It's definitely going to affect what they do. And a lot of the texts, which I didn't read individually, they truly believe that the Democrats are the ones that will stop at nothing to get rid of political opponents, which is frightening. And they're talking a lot about the lawfare, or going after the Justice Department, going after political enemies. And then, of course, Trump made that remark, if they're going to come after me, maybe I'll go after them, and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, the rhetoric goes on and on and on. So it's really quite an interesting observation I found on the show. So I believe that businesses should probably keep their political ideology to themselves when it comes to public forums, really. I mean, obviously, you can believe what you want, but I think when it comes to public forums, you can be in pretty big trouble with a big segment of your audience. One thing I also thought that was strange are how celebrities, entertainers believe that somehow we care about who they're going to vote for. Why is that? I don't know why. I mean, why do they feel that they have some special anointing to tell us about political views? Because they do. I mean, almost every day I get emails from celebrities that for the Harris campaign talking about how they are voting for Kamala and why we should stay away from Trump. It's amazing to me. Now, listen, as always, by the way, speaking of that, a man was arrested outside of a campaign rally. This was in Southern California with multiple guns that were illegally in his possession with multiple rounds of ammunition. This was done the other day, right before a Trump rally. And the Riverside County Sheriff says deputies probably prevented another assassination attempt. Speaking of which, that was Saturday, October 12th at 5 o'clock, basically, California time. That was just the other day. Okay, another thing I want to mention is that we have a survey that was taken of television providers other than, over-the-air antennas, right? And do you know that the number one TV provider, this is what's amazing to me, was YouTube TV. I have YouTube TV, by the way. That gets you local channels, that gets you network TV, that gets you everything you need. Number 2 was Hulu Live. Now, I like Hulu Live. It's not a bad service. But YouTube TV is cheaper. And by the way, by a long shot, YouTube TV number 1, Hulu number 2, Sling. I did not know Sling offered a TV service for general TV. Now, by the way, just so you know, this is at the expense of cable. More and more people are disconnecting cable, and the only thing cable companies are doing, or one of the major things they're doing right now, is simply providing the pipe, but no longer the programming. Well, Comcast still does the programming. I don't really know how long that's going to go on, because I think what Comcast should do, if they're smart, is convert to a system like this, is actually convert to like a Hulu or a YouTube TV and become a streaming service for the locals and for TV providers. Why bother trying to do that old-fashioned model of delivering programming at specific times over cable? I mean, who the hell is going to make appointment TV anymore? And after Sling TV, Fubo, never heard of them. And last, which I knew would be, DirecTV Stream. They're terrible. Anyway, I'm Tom Martino. Thanks for joining us. I want to tell you to please tune in tomorrow. Don't forget our YouTube channel, Troubleshooter Network, if you want to listen to anything that's been going on, and 303 Martino. All right, guys, thanks.
Tom Martino.
Okay, I'm gonna stop this stream and then start another one, because